Go for the beers. Go for the cheers. Go for the hit and the hits. Go for the scene. Go for the screens. Go for the gallery. Go for the win. Go to Ocean.
Post-game show with Seth Joyner.
I knew that they had a running game.
Derek Gunn.
He has put in the effort.
Devin Caney.
Had we not won the Super Bowl, what would we be saying?
And Mike Missinelli.
Well, you know who Philly is.
Post-game, now streaming on the 6ABC family of apps.
What's up, little Friday Eve show, hanging out with you guys. We're Sports Take, JAKIB Sports YouTube Network. Barrett, there you go. You're back. You went from blue to gold to.
It's gonna keep doing it. I don't know why it does it, man.
Okay, all right. Well, that's Barrett. That's Derek. I'm Rob. What's up, everybody? How we doing? Gunner?
I'm blue bottom. Doing great. You know, you guys always laugh at me because you say I always have something going on in my house, something off the cuff. So during the show meeting, you guys didn't notice, but I hear this buzzing in my window. It's off to my left shoulder here, and I'm thinking, please do not let it be a wasp, now, not this time of year, because, bugs start to come out earlier and earlier every year.
Yeah.
So I'm tracking it down and notice it's a fly, a big fly. So I can't get to it. So by the time I go downstairs and get a fly swatter and my bug assault gun, it's not in the window anymore. So now I'm listening. I hear it's in the bathroom now. So I get to the bathroom and I notice it's up in the skylight in the bathroom. Well, I can't shoot up there because if I crack the window, you know who I got to hear from if I crack the window with this bug assault, right? So I just closed the bathroom door. So for the next 3 hours, I took all the stuff like the toothbrushes, put them away, some little nasty, didn't land on my toothbrushes and stuff like that. So for the next 3 hours, he'll live his good life. But once we say goodbye at 2:57, you know what? The groundhog saw its shadow this morning. This fly about to meet his maker this afternoon.
Oh, poor guy. He doesn't know what's about to hit him, man. He's got 3 hours left.
Look, I got a fly swatter. I got fly spray in there, and my kids are laughing at me because, Dad, what kind of random text is this, right? It's like, hey, look, I have to tell it when I see it, when things happen, man. So I got bug. What is fly spray? The raid, fly spray. You guys use that before, kill bugs. I got that in there. I got a fly swatter. I said, I got to go to Old Faithful when all else fails. Just call it Old Faithful.
Oh man, you're bringing out the heavy artillery for this bad boy. Okay.
This
well,
is
the
also
fact that
for,
you're even it's crazy you're getting one of those in February though. You know what I mean? Like it's usually that's not going to happen till like March at least.
Yeah, but you know what? With the weather patterns being as if last year we had this warm spell in late February, early March, and bees were out.
That's
and
true.
then it got cold again. They disappeared. But this is also, I found, a very good deterrent for unwanted guests in your home. Those people who think they can go past your family. Get past you and go to your wife and kids and get whatever they want and, get access to your home against your better wishes. So for unwanted guests, instead of using regular table salt, I go to rock salt for unwanted guests in the house.
See how he treats you, Rob.
I know.
Why he treating
about
like
me,
that,
not you.
Right.
I'm not threatening anybody. I'm just telling you it's a dual purpose home appliance. That's all I'm telling
purpose. I like that. Yeah, that works.
Telling Trish.
I hear you. Yeah. So Derek, I didn't even get a chance to. You distracted me with it with all your artillery there. 246 hours. 246. Had to get it in there. 10 days. We're getting closer, guys. All we need to do is once we get past Sunday, then you're on your regular week. Like here we go.
Right. That's when it gets easy.
No.
Yeah.
Your regular week, but your regular week and my regular week is vastly different.
True.
See, by Friday, your hand's like this. See, you're like this by Friday. By Friday, I'm still here.
No, it's, you know what? Different strokes, as they say, for different folks. So yeah, I'm ready to go, man. I can tell you that much. You know who else is ready to go? Jason Kelsey's wife, Kylie. Kylie's 9 months pregnant with their third child. So she still plans to go to the game, but they're going to fly out her OBGYN to Arizona just for a comfort level for her. But you have more on this, Derek Gunn. We overturn everything. Every stone is unturned.
Come to find out that the OBGYN from here cannot practice medicine in the state of Arizona. So the Kelseys have a contingency plan to have medical officials on standby there as well. You remember last year when the Rams won the Super Bowl, one of the receivers had to take off right away because he found out his wife was in labor.
I think was it Van Jefferson or somebody else? I forget.
Yeah, it was Jefferson.
Yep.
Yeah.
So he grabbed his small daughter. We got to go. And the daughter's like, huh? We got to go.
Right on the field. Yeah.
Took off. And somebody else's. There was another Super Bowl, I believe, where somebody's wife went into labor at the Super Bowl and they got her to the hospital and then the player rushed to the hospital afterwards. This is becoming, now see, I guarantee you, somebody somewhere is going to have a prop bet on whether or not his wife delivers in the first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter, before the game, after the game. I guarantee you somebody's going to. There's over 670 different prop bets now for Super Bowls. We never heard about this stuff when Super Bowls first came to be back in the 70s and the 80s.
Right.
That's because the teams didn't care. Like when
correct.
Like my daughter still holds it against me now, but my daughter China, she was born. I was in camp in Denver, and it was right during the preseason, the start of preseason, and she was born on August 17th.
Okay,
that's right there. I had a game on August 18th.
Oh, okay.
In 2002. So I couldn't fly back because I had a game. Let me look at that preseason schedule, because she still says it. Oh, you were there for everybody else. You couldn't be there for me.
Oh man,
you just don't love me enough to make that trip for me. I'm like, what are you talking about?
Is she the youngest?
Crazy. Yes.
Usually you get that from middle kids. The middle kids. I got a middle kid who has the middle kid syndrome occasionally.
Jan Brady syndrome.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Okay. But she's the youngest. That usually happens, Barrett, with the middle kids and the youngest kids.
Well, it should.
You got to deal with that.
It shouldn't be that way anyways, man. She should know I love her, and she wants to use it against me.
Yeah, Daddy was working. Daddy wasn't out on the golf course doing nothing. He was
right.
Does she still use it against you now?
Yes.
You know what? Okay. Did you yell at her yesterday?
No.
Did you correct her on something? See, usually
did she want money? She want money?
Yeah, did she need money?
That's probably what it is right there.
See, usually my middle kid and the younger one will use that against you when you either yell at them for something you asked grown folks to do and they didn't do it, or something like that. That's the only time you don't support me. You don't do this. You do this for this one, but not for this one. You love this one more than me. I'm like, hold up, you're in your 30s. You know what? Bump that.
I sat there the last night. I was helping my daughter with this paper she's doing, and it was for like international trade for the country of Madagascar. I'm like, what in God's name? What is this? What are we doing here? I mean, it was painful to get through. But
did it make you feel? Let me see. How can I say?
Dumb? Yes.
Yes. Okay. I didn't want to use that word, but now that you mentioned,
yes,
it
did. Yeah, it did. Yep.
When my kids got to a certain point in high school, when my kids got to a certain point in high school, I was like, I don't know.
Talk to your mother. Yeah, basically. Yeah, one of those.
Hey, I got through geometry, but when you start talking about, algebra 2, algebra 3, trigonometry, you might as well be talking in hieroglyphics or foreign language, because I just
don't have that many toes.
I hear you.
I'm saying,
Trust me when I tell you, I hear you. So that'd be pretty cool with the Kelseys. We'll see how that plays out. You mentioned Puxatawny Phil. So what do you have? You got a good one, Gunner? What do you have?
Mama Brooks, leave my baby alone. Stop it.
Puxatawny Phil saw a shadow, which means we have 6 more weeks of winter, according to a rodent who crawled out of a hole that we
Let me
go
tell you
by.
something. If I ever see that rodent in person,
You're gonna get him. Yeah, you better watch out.
I'm telling you right now.
You.
Just first of all, the fly, and then I found out Puxatawny Phil saw a shadow again. Did he bite anybody? A couple of years he's bitten somebody.
Yeah, I don't think he got anybody today. But
Anybody?
I think he was disturbed by having be extracted out of his hole. But yeah, who knows? I think we're going to get 6 weeks of winter because we haven't gotten any winter yet. Would be my guess. And I'm no Puxatawny Robin.
Yeah. Don't say that, man. Because that little rodent he make a nice Daniel Boone hat. I'll tell you that right now. I see him.
Keep you nice and warm if we do have an extended winter. Yeah, so that'd be interesting. Question for you guys regarding the Super Bowl. Now, I need you to think of it in this scenario. Okay. You're not working.
Right.
Okay. Cost is no object, meaning if you wanted to go to the game, you could pull it off financially.
Right.
And this isn't just for the Super Bowl. It's just any of a big game. It could be a championship. It could be Game 7 of a World Series, Game 7 in NBA Finals, whatever. Biggest game, the big game.
Right.
What is your preferred viewing? Do you prefer home, at a house with a buddies, whatever, at the bar, at the game itself? If you have your druthers, where would you watch the game? Let's just take Super Bowl 57. You're not working, okay?
And this is an Eagles Super Bowl.
Eagles Super Bowl. Yeah, let's just say a week from Sunday, you're not working, and you have the financial capability of getting out to Arizona if you want. So the question is, where would you watch?
I would still watch it at home, bro. I like to sit down. I like to watch replays. I like to, and I don't want anybody else telling me what I'm looking at. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't want my buddy talking about, oh man, he should have did. No. I mean, I admit, I watch the game, but I don't see the game like everybody else. When I watch the game, I'm seeing, like, I don't even know where the ball is until I go through in my head what I see, and then it eventually takes me where the ball is going to be. You know what I'm saying? Like, I kind of figure out where it's supposed to go before it's supposed to be there. So when I'm watching the game, I'm seeing offensive line. When I first look at the game, like, for instance, this is what I do every play. I'm not like Ray and all those guys, and you guys, just like you the same way. You write every play, chart every play, down, distance, all that stuff. I can't do that. What I do is I look at the center then I look and see if it's 4 down. When I see it's 4 down, then I look at the covers. When I look at the covers, I got to find the shell. First corner, safety corner. Then I find the next guy over. I find a linebacker. Once I find a linebacker, then I go and I watch the play. By the time I do all that, I watch the play. I know what the protection is. I know what they're going. I know what the defense is trying to do to them. And I'm like, the ball should go here. When it doesn't go there, I see where the ball goes. And and that's how my brain processes it. You know what I'm saying? So it's funny, that I'll see a play. Like, I actually got in trouble at work for that. I got in trouble at work for that. I'm sitting down, I'm watching a play, and one of our coworkers, you guys know who it is. I'm watching the game, and this young tackle, rookie tackle, it's actually Dillard. Dillard goes inside and blocks the 3 technique and gets the line, and the guard gets the linebacker, leaves the end wide open and knocks out the quarterback, rocks him.
Yeah.
And everybody goes, oh, and I'm looking and say, oh, that's a good play by Dillard. And one of our coworkers says, What are you talking about? I said, well, quarterback's got to throw that hot. The ball's supposed to be hot. The ball's supposed to be hot. He's supposed to leave the end man on line of scrimmage. The guy that's farthest away from the quarterback, which happened to be the defensive end.
Right.
But the quarterback has to know that the offensive line got that 3 technique and a linebacker, the blitz linebacker that came through. So they picked up what was right in front of him, but he kept the ball too long and he got rocked. So our coworker was pissed off. And he started yelling, "Oh, this rookie's gonna get this quarterback killed. We need to cut his ass now." I don't say anything to him, but I'm talking to Mulhern, one of our producers. I said, man, that's on the quarterback, man. He should have threw that ball. He's on some what? What are you talking about? He's going to get the quarterback killed. Stupid rookie. And I turned around and looked at him and said, no, that wasn't his man. That was the quarterback's fault. The quarterback fault? How is this his fault? He doesn't have shoulder pads on that he can block. He's not blocked. Now that he's gotten indignant, now I feel disrespected.
Right.
Now I'm MFing him and everything else. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm you know, now I'm mad. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm showing that, all right, I'm superior to you. I'm gonna make sure you understand that you'll never talk to me like this again. You will never talk to me like this again. No, I'm ready to choke this. So long story long, he gets mad, looks at me, and he's staring at me, and he's walking towards me. And about 10 feet from me, he throws his coat down and looks at me. And then he starts walking. Yes. And then he starts walking towards me again. And I'm sitting down in my seat. By the time he got 2 seconds, I had jumped up and I was about to grab him. And he turned his head and then walked out the out the office. And when he was leaving out the office, you know how he got those springs, and it kept him from slamming the door. He's trying to slam the door, but the springs won't allow him to slam the door. I'm like, he almost got his ass whooped just then.
What?
You know what I'm saying? Yes, I couldn't believe he did it to me.
Let me tell you, audience, I had no idea I was getting this story out of Barrett. Like,
you never heard this story.
I thought you were going to say, I'd rather be on my couch. I'd rather be. I had no idea where this was going.
Right. So
you never heard this story, Rob?
I don't think so.
I can't watch it with other people, bro.
I just sit there and watch it, and me being me, I'm crying laughing.
So you were there for this.
Oh, I'm crying laughing.
He wasn't crying laughing. He goes, do you know, Barry? Do you know?
Who said that? No, I'm talking about me. I was sitting there crying laughing. I didn't instigate. I'm watching YouTube.
No, I'm talking about Mulhern. Mulhern was like,
yeah, no.
Oh, do you? It ain't like you won a Super Bowl. Do you know? You didn't play. It's not like you played 12 years in the league. Maybe you don't know, Barrett. I'm like, Mulhern, why are you doing this? Why are you doing this to me, man?
But he wasn't the one doing it. He was just messing with it.
He was messing with it.
Okay.
He was taking
Let's get Mulhern on, our producer, man. Let's get him on, man.
Hey,
we can talk. He's a great football mind.
He is too. He comes up with these stats and stuff. But he took over the D-gun role in that case. I just said this is the same co-worker that Barrett, who is mentioned mentioned earlier last year on the show, threatened to make disappear at a training camp practice.
What?
This is the same one. Yes, yeah. Barrett threatened to make this person disappear, cursed him up and down at training camp one time, and threatened to do him bodily harm. And
is this the same guy who left you hanging when you didn't have prompter or anything?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh my
same
God.
one. Oh yeah. Oh yes.
Okay. All right.
And he's still in the business. Still in the business.
So, all right.
Yeah, but
so Barrett would like to be at home, not annoyed by.
Yes, I'd much rather watch it at home where I can sit down, I can look at the replays, I can hear what's going on, and I can hear. I like to say when the when announcers are wrong and when they're right and all that stuff. So I'd rather be by myself. When I'm in the office, I ignore people. I don't even talk to people. I just ignore them. You know what I mean? So,
all right. How about you, Derek?
Oh, there's no question. I'd rather be at home every year like clockwork. Now, my wife knows not to ask me, but I think she does it on purpose. Sure, I say one of two things. Hey, do you want to have a Super Bowl party here? Or so-and-so wants to know, can we go to this Super Bowl party? Last year, our church was having 300 to 400 people for a big Super Bowl party. Every year in unison, it has been no, no, no. Once every 3 or 4 years, I give in. And during the game, I sit there and I see across the room because most of the women are in the kitchen or another room talking about everything that's not football. But she leaves me in a room with a bunch of men who want me to sit there and analyze a game for them every play. All I want to do is sit and watch. I want to hear the announcers. I want to hear stats. You know how I love stats. I want to hear the stats. I want to hear any injury updates. I want to hear anything go. I actually want to see the halftime shows at Super Bowl. When you go to Super Bowl parties, you cannot even enjoy the halftime shows. In the last few years, all of a sudden, my wife wants to watch the Super Bowl now. So I have to sit with her at least and watch the Super Bowl, and she wants to talk through the Super Bowl, or she'll play her videos and sometimes turn the sound up loud while I'm trying to watch the game. And I sit there looking at her like this. Really? But I have when I watch a Super Bowl in my family room, I have a refrigerator that's about 40 feet from me.
Okay.
I have 3 different bathrooms I could go to if I have to. If I need a beverage, I have a mini fridge in the kitchen also. I have everything. I have my own car in my driveway. I don't have to be there 2 to 3 hours before a game to find a parking space. I don't have to leave in the fourth quarter before an exciting game is over, just so I'm not stuck in the parking lot 2 hours after a game. There's no question. I'd much rather be sitting in front of my TV, and I'm waiting. I'm waiting for my wife. There's still what? How many hours did you say before the Super Bowl, Rob?
200 and let's go. It's 2:45 and about 39 minutes. 245 hours.
What is wrong with you, Rob? What is wrong with you, man?
A lot. How long? How much time do you have, Barrett?
Right.
So I still have from now to next Saturday, and I'm waiting for her to ask me, would I either like to have people over or go to a Super Bowl party? And it will be once again an emphatic no. I gave you your last one a few years ago. Didn't enjoy. I love the people we hang out with, but it's a party, And these are guys who love Super Bowl, but they want to talk during the whole game. I don't want to talk.
Yeah.
If in the perfect world, you know where I am, Rob? Sitting right up here in my bedroom, watching the TV in my bedroom. But no, I can't even do that because I get the text. Hey, where are you? Why are you up there and not down here? I can't even do that. So I've got to make that concession, right? And I still miss certain things. And she'll say, well, you got replay. Why don't you replay it? Aha. But when it's one of her programs that she has even taped, that I can't say nothing. I have to let her know when I'm getting ice in the fridge.
Okay.
Why couldn't you wait till a commercial?
No, man. It's all right. It's okay. Yeah, you're under some tough restrictions there. I get it.
I want to know you, Rob. Now,
okay.
What do you do, Rob?
So the answer is I could try to be different than you guys and give you something else, but it would be disingenuous. I like to be home. I like to be watching the game. I like to be locked in. I like to hear what's going on. I want to hear reports if somebody's hurt, what they're saying, why this happened. I want replays. Like the worst thing about Super Bowl parties, there's a lot of things going on. One, you have people who are there for the commercials, the worst kind of people. They're not football fans. They're there for halftime and they're there for the commercials. I can't wait to see what Rihanna is wearing.
And the food. Yeah.
Right. Food. What's Rihanna wearing? And then, oh my God, a Pepsi commercial. And I'm like, I don't care. I don't care about any of this. Okay. I'm worried about the game, especially if it's my team. And don't walk by the TV. Don't start with your phone and playing your, TikTok videos loud where I can't hear what's going on. Okay. I don't care what Mary said the other day. I don't care what's going on with her kids. I don't care during that time. You want to talk to me about that stuff? Talk to me after the game. So I want to watch the game. Okay. Now, I don't mind if I have a group of like-minded people that are like dialed in on the game. Okay. That's cool. That's fine. We don't need a lot of small talk unless it's a commercial, but I'm okay with that. But the problem is it's hard when you're in a group setting for everybody to be locked in, even if it is the Eagles or your team. It's tough to find that. That's the way it's got to be, man. I can't have any nonsense when it's my team. Now, if the Eagles weren't in the Super Bowl and it was the Chiefs and the Rams or whoever, okay, whatever. Then it's a different story. I don't care. It's a little lighter fare. That's where I could go out with my buddies. That's where I could go out to the bar. That's where I don't care if, if people are talking about whatever. I'm okay with that. I'm okay if it's not my team. I don't mind. But if it's my team, I want to be home and I want to be watching, especially football. Like I watched the Phillies game when they beat the Braves and Rhys Hoskins had the bat slam at a bar with a bunch of people, and it was great. But when it's the Eagles, it's a different deal.
I can't do it. I can't do that. I can't watch it. I can't watch like when I watch a national championship game, I can watch a national championship game, I'm out. But when I'm watching Eagles football, when I'm doing my job,
right,
it's hard for me to work around people. You know what I'm saying? Like even in the office, I don't like to really just sit back with people because I don't want to think I'm an a-hole.
Yeah,
but I'm really focused on what's going on. I really don't care what anything else.
Mm-hmm.
I need to know what's going on. So
I'm the same way. Like when I get into the studio to do the post-game show for WIP, I don't need a lot of yapping when I'm in there. I'm not charting for fun. Trust me, it's not a blast to have to take down every freaking play and make a note of what's going on in that situation. I'm not doing it for kicks. I'm doing it for a reason. So I don't need somebody to come in and say, "Do you believe the equipment?" I'm like, dude, shut the door, hit the bricks. Anyway. Right.
I don't care if it was Houston playing Atlanta in a Super Bowl. I am not going to a Super Bowl party. It is the last meaningful football game of a season. Okay? And I want to say I got to see everything that I wanted to see from that game. I've covered 11 Super Bowls, and I hate covering Super Bowls. I hate covering them. I don't care if it's my team or not. You know why? Because unless you're the national media or the writers, the press box you would normally get in, you don't get in the press box. You put in these seats in the bowl of the stadium like other fans, and it's usually in a coffin corner of an end zone. So the only access to replay that you have is the jumbotron that everybody else is looking at. Yeah. You cannot hear stats. You cannot hear historic stats referring to either team in the Super Bowl or, injury updates, things like that. Now, when you're like us in TV, you're on the field, especially if you're doing live shots, almost up like an hour or a little bit less before kickoff. So by the time you weave your way through the tunnel, get to an elevator, and get up, you may be like 30, 35 minutes away from kickoff. Right. Now you got to find your seat where you got to crawl over people to get in your seat in a lot of cases. And if you're in those seats in the bowl, very few. Now, we'll say the last Super Bowl the Eagles played, we actually got to be in the press box. But by the time I got to the press box, you're scrambling to get food, and the line is still long. So now it's getting closer to kickoff. Finally get to your seat. Every Super Bowl, they give media members a gift pack, okay? It's always one of those cheap plastic cushion seats to sit on. And they give you little trinkets like they'll give you the Super Bowl pin, which, by the way, you find out through the years, the older they become, they're worth more money when you get these little pins, the metal pins. It'll say what Super Bowl. Some of them will have the two teams, the two combatants on them. By the time you get to your seat, if you're not there 2 hours before kickoff, someone has ransacked your gift bag. You think I'm kidding?
It
happens all the time. You go and the bag is laying there open. Your gift bag is laying. Oh, your pin's gone. Now the Eagles Super Bowl, they gave out this really neat little. It was like a flashlight. You're gonna get flashlight. The flashlight was gone. And other people. Oh, it was like somebody robbed the house, because I'm looking up and down Media Row, and there are a number of bags where stuff is missing, and then you see certain people walking in rows ahead of you, and they're on a scavenger hunt. So it's them doing it. So they're grabbing as much stuff as they can if nobody's looking.
What a low-life move, by the way. Come on.
Oh, yeah, because they're going to give it to one of their kids or their family member or somebody like that. They take your gift and leave you with nothing. I always end up throwing most of the stuff in the trash before I leave the stadium. Because
that's wrong, man.
The people do it. Now, these are professional people, Barrett. But usually, you know what it is? It's the people that are getting the Super Bowl experience for the first time. They're in the press box, and they want everything they can remember. They don't even take into consideration you're stealing somebody else's stuff that was given to them, not you. It's weak. But it happens all the time, dude.
Agreed. Agreed.
But that's just me though. I like to. I mean, and it's not like I don't dislike people. I like people, you know what I'm saying? But when I'm working, let me work. Like I'm not gonna go to your job and be trying to talk to you about something. Like I could literally, when I'm watching the game, look on my phone, and I'll literally have 20 people text me the same question, trying to see what's going on.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, there's only so many run the damn balls I can get and respond to. You know what I'm saying? Something like that. But I mean, I enjoy it. I enjoy people. I enjoy the whole atmosphere, but I just can't. I can't do it, bro. I can't do it because I don't want people to think that I'm a bad dude.
I hear you.
But I start getting to a point where I start thinking like I'm a bad dude.
Hey, look, I love my friend circle, but there's limitations, and that's one of the few limitations. And then you get the people that want to stand in front of the TV while the game's going.
Yeah.
To hold a conversation.
That's a problem.
No. You're in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Yeah, that's going to be a real problem.
Excuse me. You know, you know.
No, not acceptable.
So I told you guys I have this fly trapped in my bathroom, right? Until further notice. My son just comes out, takes a shower, leaves the bathroom door wide open. I sent a family group text to tell him to keep the door closed. He comes strolling out like, see, I can't make up this stuff. Yeah, that's exactly what. I'm like, why didn't you close the door? What? It's like, do you live in a cave? You on the family group text?
Oh, man.
It's just like that all the time, man. I mean, that dog, I'm going to tell my son, you go in the weight room. Put your weights up, man. Put your weights up, bro. It's a small room anyways. Put your weights up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You use the dumbbell, put the dumbbell weights back up. And he's like, well, how do you know it's me? I said, Sanji is not lifting 40 pounds, bench pressing 4 pounds with dumbbell weights. She's not going to use the 40. She's not going to use the 50, son.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I look on the bar. The bar's on her. He's got 245-pound plates on each side. I said, son, unrack the weight and put the weight up. How you know it's me?
Oh, my God.
Your mom's not benching 220. 225.
Yeah, you don't need to be a detective to figure this one out.
Right,
You know?
right. Son,
Oh,
you finish with your shoes. You know, take your shoes, because he gets in the sauna. He takes his shoes off, takes his socks off, and leaves them sitting right there.
Yeah.
Well, what do you mean how? So I tell him, go ahead and ask me how I know it's you, because I see your shoes sitting there and your socks. I don't want to see your dirty ass socks, bro. Put your socks up, bro. You know what I'm saying? Clean up after yourself, man. He leaves just a massive wave of destruction everywhere he goes. All right, he's been here.
I got one of those. I got one of those.
You know what I'm saying?
My favorite is when you tell grown kids, put the dishes in the dishwasher.
Oh, not in the sink, in the dishwasher. Yep.
The sink is exactly, to open the door from the bowel of the sink is maybe 12 inches. 12 inches. The only time you don't put the dishes in the dishwasher is if the dishwasher is full of clean dishes and
if it's running. Yeah.
Or if it's running.
Yeah.
Like clockwork, every day, 365 days a year. Once or twice a day, I put dishes in the dishwasher. And you know why? Because they know, he'll do it eventually. That's why. But I'm the bad guy. See, I don't mind being the bad guy. My wife is like, you got to be careful with the words you say and how you say it to them. And I'm like, see, so basically I'm supposed to be a borderline stroke, because I've got to be careful with what I say, because grown folk in my house don't understand that they're supposed to. This ain't no Airbnb. This ain't no bed and breakfast. You're supposed to do certain things that we do. So that's more on us, right? So I'm supposed to just bite my lip and grin and bear. You know what I'm saying?
You know it's beautiful. This is therapeutic. I'm helping.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
it is, because you guys are the only guys I can talk to about this stuff.
I know,
man.
That's why we're here.
In the chat room.
And the chat room too. All right, let's get a timeout. All right, I'll throw out something absurd.
I gotta go find the fly. I'll be back.
The latest absurd thing that a pundit / current player had to say regarding the Eagles. We'll do that when we come back, in addition to everything else that we have going on. There's a lot we're going to dive into. Chiefs. We're going to do a Hurts-Mahomes comparison. Besides Jalen Hurts, who is the Eagles MVP, some little odds and ends regarding the Super Bowl as well. We have an update on what color the Eagles will be wearing. So we'll provide that to you when we come back. Gunner's going to go do some work, some extermination work.
I got to go close the back.
Barrett's not going to go near the weight room or sauna because he doesn't want to get annoyed. And we'll keep it rolling. Derek Gunn, Barrett Brooks, Rob Ellis, Sports Take on this. Oh, look out. Duck. All right, let's talk a little Jim Murray and Principal Financial Group, because finding that right person can be really, really difficult and a challenging situation. But I found the right person who you can invest your hard-earned work for the future. whether it's retirement planning, 401k review, insurance review. You might have a small business and you're trying to set up your employee benefits. That's another resource that Jim Murray and Principal Financial Group can help you with. I know personally, I've entrusted my IRA, my 401k rollovers with Jim, and it was the absolute right move. It was a game changer for me. It will be for you as well. Give him a call, 610-996-4751, 610-996-4751, or you could email him, Murray, MURRAY.Jim@principal.com. That's Murray.Jim@principal.com.
Go for the beers, go for the cheers, go for the hit and the hits, go for the scene, go for the screens, go for the gallery, go for the win, go to Ocean.
Jeff D'Ambrosio doesn't need a special event to appreciate his customers. Jeff shows his appreciation to them every day of the year. Jeff makes sure to stock more new inventory than anyone and guarantees prices and payments that nobody can beat. There are so many reasons that thousands of customers know Jeff is the easy, friendly place to do business. More for their trades. No judgment zone for credit issues. The best, most reliable service department in the country. That's why I like Jeff, and I know you will too. Jeff will satisfy you every day. Jeff D'Ambrosio, Destination Downingtown, Owner Appreciation Event.
Weather forecasting is a team game.
We rely on each other every day, updating the models and passing along new critical information.
We have a team of 5 experienced meteorologists and a specialized weather producer, Paul. Say hi, Paul.
Sometimes what I see in the model, Cecily could see something different.
That's when we come together as a team to make our most accurate prediction.
And all of this backed by more than 100 AccuWeather scientists. It's a team game.
And we have the best team in town.
The greatest fans on earth. It's a bold statement, but would you expect anything less from Philadelphia? 58 years of heartache creates a toughness, a grit, a resolve not found in most. Sure, our prayers were answered, but now that we've had a taste, we're looking for more. Pondley Hockey, official partner of the Philadelphia Eagles.
Post-game show with Seth Joyner,
I knew that they had a running game.
Derek Gunn,
He has put in the effort.
Devin Caney,
Had we not won the Super Bowl, what would we be saying?
and Mike Missinelli.
Well, you know how Philly is.
Post-game, now streaming on the 6ABC family of apps.
Back. Yes, we are. What's up, everybody? Thanks for hanging out with us. We're Sports Take, JAKIB Sports YouTube Network. Tell a friend, smash that like button. D Gunn, B Brooks, R Ellis. 3 hours of power each and every single day. All right, so the Eagles will be wearing green jerseys, white pants, guys. The same colors that they wore in Super Bowl 52. I am down with it. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Keep rolling. I am good with the color selection for the birds. Where are you guys at with that one? Mute it, Gunner.
What color is it again?
Green jerseys, white pants.
Okay.
That's what they wore in against the Patriots as well. So I'm good.
Fine with me.
They had the option. They had the option. Yeah.
I wish they would have worn all black when they're looking like stormtroopers.
Yeah. Well, I guess they could have done that. Yeah. I mean, but yeah, the Chiefs will wear the white, the white jerseys with the red pants. So yeah, green for the Eagles and white for the Chiefs. All good on that end. All right. I don't know if you guys saw this. Julian Love, Giants defensive back, was on Good Morning Football on the NFL Network today and had this to say regarding regarding Nick Sirianni. Quote, he's in for a free ride now. You guys could coach this team. And the reference is there's so much talent there that anybody could handle this team, including the panel that he was sitting next to. Now, I normally just sort of ignore this kind of stuff because I do think we get a little bit too touchy and worried about what others say kind of in general. But I will say this. When your team gets their ass spanked 38-7 and get completely dispatched where the game could have been like 54-7, I would bite my tongue if I'm Julian Love with making any comments about the opposing team's coach.
Right.
Kind of laughable to me, honestly.
Come on, man. See, that's what I'm talking. That's the amount of disrespect that we have to endure. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What is going on, bro?
All the time. It really is, man. It never stops. It's crazy to me. Like, dude, you just got killed. They eliminated you. They beat you 3 times this year.
He got his ass kicked by all our receivers.
Craziness. There's no self-awareness anymore, man.
No,
People just spout crap out. It's wild.
Well, I'm going to take a little bit higher road and say, I'm not disagreeing with what you said, but I maybe it's him giving a tribute to how this team was put together. The most complete team in the NFL, and they played like it, and they took them to the woodshed. I'm gonna look at it as like maybe a backhanded compliment.
But Derek, it wasn't though.
You know.
The context of it is they were showing like Sirianni kind of mean mugging and reacting on the sidelines,
right.
And the setup was like basically, what do you think about him? And that was what it was coming off of. It was a direct shot at Sirianni, in my opinion. It was a shot at it wasn't giving the Eagles roster praise or love. It was like, trust me, anybody could do what that guy's doing. Like that's what it amounted to.
So it wasn't reference to how the team is built and how complete the team is on both sides.
I mean, he was being complimentary to how good the team is, but it was more like, give me a break. Anybody could do this. Like that. So,
tell you, man,
yeah.
I've said it once and I'll say it a million times, and I've been to Philadelphia over 26 years. It's amazing how this city, this fan base, these teams in this city continuously just get shunned by outsiders. I've never seen, and I've lived coast to coast. I've never seen anything like this. Even when the teams have been down, people take shots at them. The teams are up, people take shots at them. Individually, collectively, it doesn't make a difference. Yeah, I've never seen anything like this, to be honest.
Yeah, very weird, very strange. I don't know, man.
He was the biggest scrub out of all of them. You know what I'm saying? He wants to talk.
Yeah,
get out of here, man. Get out of here.
It is very weird. It is very, very weird. Like there was another, and this is not an Eagles shot by any stretch, but I'm watching Sean O'Hara, who's another NFL Network analyst, former Giant, longtime Giant. And they asked him about Tom Brady's retirement yesterday. And he says at one point, hey, we're all going to remember where we were, like the JFK assassination or 9/11. Like,
what?
Dude, first of all, come on, man. Like, give me a break. Even going there with those two events, right?
Please tell me he didn't say that.
Number two, he did. And number two, the guy retired a year ago on the same date. Do you remember where you were then? And he came back a month later or whatever it was, 40 days later. It's just like, man, you stick a mic in front of some folks' faces. It's a dangerous thing. I'll just tell you that.
And that's my dude too. We played together. I was in camp in Cleveland. We were there for a little bit together there, but then we played a year together and with the Giants. And you know what I'm saying? Pretty sharp dude, man.
Yeah,
that wasn't too sharp though. But.
No, that was oof. All right. Anyway, couple other odds and ends here. I mentioned what the Eagles are going to be wearing. They are 1.5. That line is at 1.5 now. It was 2.5. So the money, at least this week, the early portion of the week, has gone Kansas City's way. The over/under is 50.5 on the game as well. Carl Cheffers is the lead official. The Eagles are 7-7. Not much to read into that in games that he officiates. The Chiefs are 16-7 when he officiates. I don't get real cranked up on that kind of stuff about the officials unless there's a real trend there. But the way the schedule is going to work is they're going to do a walkthrough today. They'll practice Friday and Saturday. They'll fly to Arizona on Sunday, and they will land at 3 p.m. Mountain, 5 p.m. Eastern. So 5 p.m. if you're in the Eastern time zone, which we are, but they'll land in Arizona at 3 o'clock. So that's kind of the way that the early portion of the week is going to kick off. Now, Barrett, you're heading down Wednesday. Is that when you're flying out?
Yes, heading out Wednesday.
Okay. Yeah. So they'll be a few days ahead of you, but that's when the Eagles will get out there. And again, Barrett, you've lived it. So, like, how nuts is it from the second that you land in the city? Is it just total time-consuming craziness?
It will be. And, you know, those both coaching staffs are going to try to make things as exactly the same as it was back when they were in Philly and in Kansas City. They want it to be exactly the same. They don't want to take them out of their schedule. They're going to make sure they stay in with the schedule, practice the same times, you know, go through walkthroughs, and, you know, they want it to be as like, you know, a business trip as they can go. Difference is a lot more demands as far as media coverage, people being there. You'll see, like, media day is on Monday, and the Eagles will have media day in the evening, and Big Red and those guys will have their media day in the morning.
Right.
So, you know, it's a lot more demanding as far as your time, especially when you're a star. When you're a star, you just don't have the time that everybody else has. You know, everybody's going to want a piece of you.
Right.
And, you know, and I think the families come in on Thursday or Friday, one of the two.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a little different. You know, back then my family came in earlier than that.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But, you know, they want to keep it as you know, they want to keep it as close as possible to what they do on a regular, as opposed to it being, you know, this huge game. Okay. You know, so.
Yeah, I got you. Hey, good news here. I never thought I'd say this, but the practice window for Aaron Sipos has opened up. So chance we may see him. I don't know. You know, we'll see. But he could be back. That is a possibility. Just saying.
There's you know, while you guys were talking.
Yeah.
Was there ever a time, D-Gun and Rob, that you guys would want Sipos to be? That name just roll off your tongue?
Shame on us. Bad mouthing Sipos.
That's what you guys get for. That's what you guys get for bad mouthing him. And what you got stuck with was Kern, and now you're salivating over the prospects of Sipos coming back again. Shame on both of you for trashing Sipos the way you did throughout the season. I was the only one who defended him.
Yeah, right.
I can't
it's getting deep. It is getting deep in here, man. Oh,
but you while you guys were talking, you know, me always looking for research stuff here. You were talking about color combination schemes and how it might affect play. And I just came across a story out of Fox 4 in Kansas City. It was posted July 31st, and I guess it was updated because here it is February 2nd, and they're talking about Eagles wearing their traditional green. So it's talking about how could the Chiefs break out their white-on-white uniforms once again. The Chiefs have already confirmed one half of the uniform, which will be the white jersey, obviously, because Eagles are wearing dark. And then it goes on to say, I can't believe this. It's the first time since Super Bowl I that the Chiefs will wear their white jerseys in the big game.
Oh, wow.
They've always had the red jerseys in the big game. Now, they've been to how many Super Bowls? I know, let's see, one in the late 60s.
Two with Andy.
Two with Andy. So this is the fourth
They won
time?
one. Didn't Hank Stram win one? He won one, didn't he?
Yeah. So they've been to 5 Super Bowls?
Jeez.
Really? Let's see. And the story goes on to talk about how where is it here? The Chiefs are 17-13, white on white uniforms in the 30 times they've worn them since 2000. And according to Gridiron Uniform Database. Let me see. And I'm like, you know, people put a lot of stock into this stuff, man.
They sure do. All right, Super Bowl champion. They won it in '69, which was Super Bowl IV, and they won it in '19. Okay, which
They won it
was
when? In
1969 and 2019. They won it those 2 years.
Okay.
So they've been there. What, 1920 they lost, right? That was the game that they lost where the offensive line was all banged up. And now this year, and then 69. So this would be the fourth, right? My math is correct, I think.
Yes, you're correct, sir. Let's see. The Chiefs were.
So they could. I mean, it's conceivable the other 3 times they wore red, right? I mean, it's not crazy.
Bro, I don't care what they wear. They're gonna get their ass kicked.
This is what happens when there's a bye week. We start digging into uniform stats.
It's driving me crazy, man, because that's what we do. That's all we do is talk about it.
Yeah.
And I'll never not have enough to talk about when it comes to football. I mean, I could talk about football all day. Right. I'm sitting there just glancing as we're doing the show. I'm looking at the all 22, of Cincy Chiefs now. And what I'm looking at, man,
give me something here. Give me something to hang my hat on here.
They play a lot of tight one-on-one coverage. We don't get that type of coverage much at all. I mean, they run a lot of no backs. No backs. When you have no back in there, they run zero coverage. Zero coverage. They're gonna bring everywhere. They're gonna bring the house. We don't get that. We don't get that because we don't have nobody will do that and help Jalen get out the pocket. When you do that, you either get to Jalen for a big play or he's going to take you for a big play. Because when you do that and you go man to man and they play a lot of man to man, it opens up Jalen being able to go out there and run because everybody's back is turned and they're covering everybody. And once he gets past that initial wave of the blitz guys blitzing, and the offensive line blocking the tackles, he's free, wide open to run as far as he wants to because the middle of the field opens up, number one. Number two, all the DBs, linebackers, and safeties are covering people. Mm-hmm. It's a dangerous, dangerous thing to do. And then you have two rookies starting on the outside.
Mm-hmm.
Bruh, this could be a shellacking. If they try to go in with the same game plan that they went in against Cincinnati.
Wow.
It could really be bad, man, because you can't do that. You can't do that against Jalen Hurts. He's too good, number one, of picking up the blitz. If you go zero coverage, he can pick the blitz up. That's number one. Number two, once you turn your back to him, he can run, and he's a good enough athlete. He can run down the field and make some big, big plays. So I'm trying to think about, how they're going to go about doing this. How in the heck are they going to go about playing man-to-man?
Well, will they keep that same strategy against the Eagles?
That's what they do. I mean, that's
I don't know.
Because
it's worked to the point they won 16 games.
Right.
Well, so 2 things on the Bengals. They have great receivers too. However, they know that their offensive line was banged up. Maybe they felt like they could get home and be more effective against that offensive line.
That's exactly what they thought.
But now
they did the same thing against but they did the same thing against Jacksonville too. They've done the same thing all season.
And they almost lost to Jacksonville because of it.
Yeah, almost. They almost did. But that's what they're going to do.
Hurts is a better runner, and he's a better runner than Lawrence. And Lawrence ran a lot.
Yep. Yeah, he did.
Wow.
Yeah, he did. Oh, here's a stat. Here's another meaningless stat. 36 out of 56 Super Bowls have been won by teams wearing white jerseys. But both the Chiefs and the Eagles won Super Bowls in recent years wearing the non-white jerseys.
Yeah. Yep. Okay.
So
all right. Well, we'll see how it plays out. All right, question. We visit. I want to revisit this because we talked about this earlier in the year, and I think it's interesting now that the season's over, and we got a couple games of playoff games under our belt too. But the question I have for you guys is, if you exclude Jalen Hurts, simply because it's just such an obvious answer, who's the Eagles' MVP? And I'll ask you this: is it immediately? Do you say Hassan Reddick, and then there's nobody else, or do you put Kelsey? Do you put Lane Johnson into that mix? Do you put Gardner Johnson into that, into the fray? Hargrave, who got double-digit sacks from the tackle position.
Brown.
AJ Brown, certainly worthy of discussion here. Is it a no-brainer, Reddick, or is it thought if you exclude Hurts?
I think it's a no-brainer, Reddick. If you can't use Hurts, then it's a no-brainer, Reddick. But then if you say, all right, if it's no-brainer Reddick and a no-brainer Hurts, then it gets pretty complicated because then there's a lot of directions in which you can take it then. I mean, the play that we've had from the secondary, has been great. The play from linebacker has been great. The play from the offensive line has been great. Play from the defensive line has been great. So, I mean, that's really tough, I mean, it is an embarrassment of riches. It's just we need everybody playing like that at the same time. And they're finally starting to play like that at the same time. And that's the biggest thing. There was people hurt during periods of the season, which didn't allow you to give your full array of weapons that we have, say defensively and offensively.
Yeah.
Imagine those games that we didn't have Dallas Goedert. But it helped us because we learned how to play without Dallas Goedert. We learned how to play without Hurts. We learned how to play,
C.J. Gardner-Johnson, Maddox.
Exactly. So, it kind of made it a stronger team because it made you think outside the box and show you what else you have in the fold. We would have known really what we had in Gainwell if you look at Sanders, and Sanders wasn't, bruised and bumped up a little bit, what I'm saying? He was healthy enough to play, but they didn't want to put that much pressure on him. So they allowed those two other guys, Scott and Gainwell, to take some reps. And they saw some stuff in them. They're like, all right, we can add him to the whole, the whole offense now. So who do you go? That's tough, man. That's really tough. Because me personally, I'm an offensive lineman, so I would have to go with Jason Kelsey.
How about you, Gunnar?
It's more the same. If you have to include Reddick, then I think it's a slam dunk. It's Reddick.
Okay.
If I don't have to include Reddick as well as Hurts, I have to give it to Lane Johnson because what he has been able to do as an offensive lineman is just jaw-dropping. Not giving up a sack in 2 years and still fighting through an injury he's going to have surgery for at the conclusion of this season, and he still hasn't given up a sack in 2 playoff games as well. And he admitted on this show yesterday the pain he's dealing with this thing. And you mentally you can tolerate pain so much, but guess what? When you get a sudden surge of pain, it distracts you momentarily. You battle that, to try. You press on it. You favor it. Not this dude. Not this dude. He just keeps fighting through it, man. And as much as I want to say Kelsey, because of what Kelsey has done this season and the way he has set the tone for that line of scrimmage, I just can't overlook what Lane Johnson has done over the body of his work and after coming out of dealing with depression. And as you know, depression just doesn't go away. We didn't even ask him, and I'm sure he doesn't want to talk about it, if he's been battling it again this year.
Yeah, I didn't ask.
I thought of it, and I didn't want to. Yeah. I just didn't want to put him in a bad position. So
I left it alone before.
Me too.
But so he's still battling that. You look at Brian Dawkins. Brian Dawkins has written a book about it. Brian Dawkins talks about it when he public speaks. Brian Dawkins is in his late 40s, and he still battles it, but he's found a way to overcome and control it. Yep. So it's not like it just disappears.
No, it doesn't go away. It's you deal with it daily. It's just the way you deal with it. And,
you have good days, good weeks, good months, good years, and some you don't. And here's Lane Johnson, still the best at what he does, dealing with that on top of an injury that will require surgery. Not possible surgery. It will require surgery, and it's completely torn.
Yeah, incredible. So I'm with you guys.
I would say Lane.
Yeah, like everybody say, if you could make if you made a case to me for, I would go Reddick as well. Let me just answer. But if you laid out everything you just laid out, Derek, about Lane Johnson, I'm not arguing with you. You know what I'm saying? If you came that hard, if you came that hard with Kelsey, frankly, if you came that hard with a guy like Hargrave, what I think has been awesome this year, I could see a case for any of those guys.
Well, I mean, a guy that's a game changer who's really taking this season over, and just because these last 2 playoff games he hasn't done a lot, But we're talking about a game changer in AJ Brown. I mean, we can't just put what he's done these last 2 games dictate what we think about him. He has been the linchpin of this entire season with opening up the offense. He starts all that.
Yeah.
He's the cog that starts all that stuff with, offense. His ability for big plays is unbelievable. Think of how many, catches of 30 yards or more he has. I mean, he is a definite weapon. How many times have he's taken a slant play and just kept the chains moving, or I mean, look at the catch he had to keep the chains moving. With the shoestring catch.
Yeah, great low on a low throw. Yeah, I think he's instilled a confidence too. Like there's a swag that AJ Brown brings that they didn't necessarily have, and it's tough with Devontae being a rookie last year. But I think that's a big element too. There's a calmness, like, all right, we got this. We got that guy on our side that I think AJ Brown brings to the table. Yeah, you're right. Hey, BG responded. Brandon Graham speaking today, and he responded to the Julian Love. Anybody could coach this team. Basically, he said, quote, people say all types of crazy stuff when they're at home. It doesn't carry any weight. So he responded.
There you go.
All right. There's a BG
there you go.
jumping in there. By the way, if you missed any of our interview with Lane Johnson, just go to jakibsports.com or our JAKIB Sports YouTube channel. Of course, that's there as well. So I didn't get a chance to hear it because we've been on the air, obviously, but another clip that's gone viral, and I don't even know, I'm assuming that this is Jonathan Gannon. So I guess it's before the game or some other time. I don't know all the context of it. You guys might. But he's outside of the Wells Fargo Center right on Broad Street, and it looks like he's either heading into the game or headed to the NovaCare complex, and he pulls up in his car. And he basically says, we're gonna effing gut them, referring to the 49ers. He rolls down his window, and he's saying it to a 49ers fan who's taunting him or something. But he threw that out there, right out the window, said that Jonathan Gannon did. So, we have it? All right, here it is.
Here we go.
Let's fucking go!
Let me hear it again, Z, if you can.
Let's fucking go!
Okay. So that was probably Eagles fans before the game, kind of cheering them on. And then he says, we're going to bleeping gut these guys.
Yeah.
How about that for all you Gannon haters?
Yeah.
Huh? Get on that Gann wagon. My man's a badass.
Dude, and he's driving a G-Wagon. He got a little swag to him.
Yeah, he's got that's a little swag move.
Yeah, in a little G-Wagon, you know what I'm saying?
I think you'll be back next season. I think you'll be back next season.
Oh, you already said as much, so
yeah, I think you'll be back. Steichen seems to be getting to play now, not so much Gannon, in terms of job potentials.
It does seem,
and that's good for the Eagles.
It is. Yep.
All the people who wanted Gannon gone are now all of a sudden turning over a different leaf.
Yeah,
I don't know.
And it's the same way. It's the same way this fan base felt about Andy Reid early in his tenure, Doug Peterson early in his tenure. It's par for the course.
We just think they're just gonna automatically step down off the airplane and just be, you know what I'm saying, who they're gonna be. Yeah, from the giddy up. It's not how it works, man.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I wish it did work like that.
Yeah,
but
you're right.
Doesn't.
You're right. So Chiefs update. So 3 guys who won't practice today. Juju Smith-Schuster still has knee swelling. He won't practice. Mecole Hardman's got a pelvis injury. He won't practice. Kadarius Toney will not practice today either, although he's close. He's got an ankle issue. So all 3 of those wideouts who got banged up in the game on Sunday for them, as well as L'Jarius Sneed. He's a concussion, so he's in concussion protocol. So for whatever it's worth, those guys aren't practicing as of yet. So that's kind of where we're at with this stuff. Jalen Hurts on how his shoulder is feeling. Quote, I'm getting there. I've made it clear this whole time. It's something I'm dealing with. Says it's getting better with time. So that was Jalen. Again, a couple Eagles coaches and players meeting with the media today. So we'll keep you posted on what they have to say as we go here, guys. All right, so we're going to come back. We'll do a little, speaking of Jalen Hurts, we'll do a little Hurts and Patrick Mahomes comp, and we'll look at some of the quality wins and some of the losses for the Chiefs this year as well. We got a lot in store for you. Don't go anywhere. Derek Gunn, Barrett Brooks, Rob Ellis, Sports Take, JAKIB Sports YouTube Network. Right now, we're going to talk about Pro Action Restoration. Yes, Pro Action Restoration are the people you reach out to if your home, your business, or a property you own goes through the inconvenience of water, fire, smoke, mold damage. You name it, any of the above and or then some. All right, so Pro Action Restoration is on call 24 hours, 7 days a week. That means holidays, that means nights, that means weekends. I can tell you from personal experience, I called them on a Saturday. They got right after my parents' house. They cleaned up a massive problem with flooding in their basement. The crew was professional. The price was right. And the crew was clean. It was a really, really wonderful experience, I can tell you. They are licensed, bonded, fully insured. They've been serving the tri-state area for more than 2 decades. Pro Action will work in conjunction with your insurance company also. So if it's water, if it's fire, if it's smoke, it's mold remediation, you name it, they can help you with it. Give them a call, 610-623-3760, 610-623-3760, or online at proactionrestoration.com. That's proactionrestoration.com.
Go for the beers, go for the cheers, go for the hit and the hits, go for the scene, go for the screens, go for the gallery, go for the win, go to Ocean.
Jeff D'Ambrosio doesn't need a special event to appreciate his customers. Jeff shows his appreciation to them every day of the year. Jeff makes sure to stock more new inventory than anyone and guarantees prices and payments that nobody can beat. There are so many reasons that thousands of customers know Jeff is the easy, friendly place to do business. More for their trades. No judgment zone for credit issues. The best, most reliable service department in the country. That's why I like Jeff, and I know you will too. Jeff will satisfy you every day. Jeff D'Ambrosio, Destination Downingtown, Owner Appreciation Event.
Weather forecasting is a team game.
We rely on each other every day, updating the models and passing along new critical information.
We have a team of 5 experienced meteorologists and a specialized weather producer, Paul. Say hi, Paul.
Sometimes what I see in the model, Cecily could see something different.
That's when we come together as a team to make our most accurate prediction.
And all of this backed by more than 100 AccuWeather scientists. It's a team game.
And we have the best team in town.
The greatest fans on earth. It's a bold statement, but would you expect anything less from Philadelphia? 58 years of heartache creates a toughness, a grit, a resolve not found in most. Sure, our prayers were answered, but now that we've had a taste, we're looking for more. Pondley Hockey, official partner of the Philadelphia Eagles.
Post-game show with Seth Joyner,
I knew that they had a running game.
Derek Gunn,
He has put in the effort.
Devin Caney,
Had we not won the Super Bowl, what would we be saying?
and Mike Missinelli.
Well, you know who Philly is.
Post-game, now streaming on the 6ABC family of apps.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Thanks for hanging out with us. Hour number 2 of the show. Good to see you. Thanks for hanging. We do appreciate it. Derek Gunn, Barrett Brooks, Rob Ellis. As we gear up, we are only 10 days away from that Super Bowl. That is for sure. All right, guys. So let's look at Mahomes and Hurts here. And we know how established Mahomes is. Perennial MVP, Super Bowl champion. You know, just an elite player, that's for sure. And I think Jalen Hurts really emerged this year in a lot of people's eyes as a force to be reckoned with. You know, showed you some signs last year, but really took it to a different level this season. So I'm not comparing accomplishment in any way, shape, or form. Just looking at what they've both done this year, statistically, and just kind of a feel with your eyeballs. So, passing. Now, keep in mind, Hurts did miss 2 games and played the last game, really where they weren't going all in. But nonetheless, Mahomes 5,250 passing yards. Jalen Hurts 3,701 touchdowns. 41 in the air for Mahomes, 22 in the air for Hurts. 12 interceptions for Mahomes, just 6 for Hurts. Completion percentage, very close. 67 for Mahomes, 66.5 for Hurts. 105.2 passer rating for Mahomes, 101.6 for Hurts. Now, obviously, with the legs is where Hurts really has the numbers here. 760 rushing yards for Hurts, 358 for Mahomes, 13 touchdowns on the ground for Hurts, 4 for Mahomes. So Mahomes 45 touchdowns total, Jalen Hurts 35 touchdowns total, 6 interceptions for Hurts, 12 interceptions for Mahomes. Knowing full well how just dynamic Mahomes is, how close are these two now? Are they in a conversation? Can you even have a conversation where they're comparable, or is Hurts just not there yet in your estimation?
Honestly, I'm gonna tell the truth. I don't think that he's there yet. I mean, you look at those numbers, man. Damn. And you don't. When you talk about MVP, it's more than just numbers. It's what you bring for the team. Well, I can't say not even just bringing it for the team, but what bringing it for the NFL. His ability to be a draw and people love Mahomes. That's MVP level type of stuff, bro. So when you look at it, and he is great, but it still doesn't diminish how great Jalen Hurts has been, what he means to this team and this organization, what he's now meaning to the future of the quarterback position. You know what I'm saying? You can't downplay in any way how great Jalen is also. So in his own right, he's definitely up there as far as his brand. He's getting there. He's not there yet, but he's getting there with Patrick Mahomes. But man, 5,000 yards. Come on, man. That's
without Tyreek Hill. I'm with you. All what Hurts has done is incredible. But I'm sorry, I can't comp him to Patrick Mahomes yet, man. He is not there yet. There's a lot to love with where this is headed. He was asked today, Hurts was, his best play of the season, and you know what Hurts' answer was? Season's not over yet. Like, how great is that? That is so him, right? But anyway, not with this guy. This guy is a whole different beast. But how about you, Gunnar?
There are a lot of things that Patrick Mahomes does you cannot teach a quarterback. That's just a guy's gift. Some of the things he's able to do with the football in his hand. Now, you can mold him into a better version of what he is, but some of the things he does, and when you think you've seen everything, he brings something else to the equation. It tells you that this is a guy who's not satisfied with who he is. At the age of 27, he's already won an MVP. He's in his 3rd Super Bowl. He's had his best passing yards-wise of his young career. And he's done it, as you just said, because I was thinking about it, without that guy named Tyreek Hill. I mean, think about this. His best passing season ever without Tyreek Hill to throw to. They bring in a bunch of guys off the street. Now, obviously, he's got the best tight end in the game. But they bring a bunch of guys in off the streets who are afterthoughts with other teams and put them in roles here, and they still excel, still find a way to win 14 games, and still find a way to get to the Super Bowl. He doesn't always make the right plays, but he makes the plays at the right time. He always finds a way to make a play at the right time. Yeah. And it's usually an unconventional play when he does it.
Yes.
Who flips the ball over his hand? Who throws underhanded? Who throws sidearm when you got a rush bearing down on you? Who throws sidearm like this around a guy and hits the target that you're looking for? And you can't teach a lot of this stuff that he does. So Jalen Hurts is on an accelerated course in terms of getting to where Patrick Mahomes is, but he's not quite there yet. I mean, what Jalen Hurts has done, the transformation he's made in 1 year from 1 year to the next is nothing short of phenomenal. And hopefully Jalen will get that hardware like Patrick Mahomes has gotten. But right now, Patrick is still that dude in the NFL. When you talk about the elite of the elite, Patrick Mahomes is that dude at 27 years old.
Yeah, he's the best off-schedule quarterback, maybe we've ever seen. I don't know if I'm overstating that, but he's right there. Cannon, mobility, smarts. Now, the one area you can knock him a little bit is he'll throw some picks. I mean, 12 is not – it's not anything you can overlook. So if you're the Eagles, you need to be opportunistic because he trusts himself so much that he'll make some throws that are gambles, right? They're risks. But the Eagles were a good team at taking the ball away this season. So that's an area maybe, and it's one of the great things about Hurts is he rarely ever turns the ball over. As much as he has it in his hands running and throwing, there's not a lot of giveaways from Jalen Hurts. So it's a great trait that he has. Yeah.
Huge
but
plus.
This is different. I mean, this is not Brock Purdy and Daniel Jones. With all due respect to what the Eagles have done, it's a huge, huge step up in class for sure.
Now, how healthy is that ankle sprain? Because the medical experts say an ankle sprain usually takes 6 to 8 weeks to heal. He didn't look like he was too far off in that game against Cincinnati, especially when he stepped up in the pocket and threw it off one leg. Now, he may not be able to spin as much as he does, but he can still buy time. He's smart enough to know how to buy time on that bad ankle. So
he'll still have that they'll put enough go-go juice in him, bro.
That's what I'm saying. Like the combination of special vitamins and adrenaline. Yes. He's not going to be 100%. You saw it in the game Sunday night, but like I'm not counting on that being. I know he may not be able to do as much as he can usually do, but I'm not hanging my hat on this guy can't move in the pocket. I don't buy it.
No. I mean, there may be limitations, because it's going to be heavily taped, and that might affect his mobility to a certain degree. But there are a lot of numbing agents, vitamins, juice that you can put in that body to put that thing to sleep for about 3.5 hours. And if it falls off after the game, so be it. You got 7 months to get ready for the next season, but the fact that he came back in that game against Jacksonville and finished off that game on one ankle and then turned around and limped through that Bengals game, and he still took off and had one of the biggest plays of the game. He took off and ran for a first down.
Right. When he had to have it, he went. It was there. When he had to have it, worst case scenario.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the Eagles better not fall asleep thinking they got this dude right where they want him, dead to rights, because he's going to take off, and he's got an extra week to get ready.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, you're right, Derek. That extra week is big, man. It's big. This comes down to like any other game. You got to get home. You got to finish him. If you let him get out of the pocket is where he loves to operate, and that's where he and Kelsey are so dangerous. So you got to get him and bring him down. And the Eagles are the best team in football at that, but they have to be in the best team in football at that this week coming up, or a week from Sunday. He's got to be that guy, and they got to be that team.
See, you have 4 key weapons on offense for the Chiefs limping right now. 3 receivers, 3 primary receivers, and the quarterback, franchise quarterback, limping right now. How many? Well, we know the quarterback will be there, but how many of those other weapons will be there as well? That remains to be seen. And that's why, if you remember a few years, they decided to have the Super Bowl 1 week after the conference championship games. From a fan perspective, I'm so glad they went back to, as much as we hate it because of what we do is talk about this stuff daily. I'm so glad it's gone back to having a 2-week grace period to let bodies heal up and get ready for the biggest game and the final game of a season.
That's what my Super Bowl was.
Yeah, you had the rare one, that rare one. Yeah.
We played on Saturday. We were on the plane going to Detroit on Sunday night. So yeah, man, it blew. It blows doing it that way. You know what I'm saying? You really didn't get a chance to prepare for it. As soon as we got back from beating up Denver, flew back, had a meeting as soon as we touched down, we had a meeting saying what we needed to do and how we needed to go about doing what we're doing. When we could bring our family up and all that, taking care of the ticket situation. Everything was done so fast that, you really didn't have time to enjoy, the being in the Super Bowl.
Right.
So, plus we were in cold behind.
I was going to say, the one Super Bowl you get to be in, B. Brooks, you got to go to Detroit in the middle of the winter.
The only one I get to cover.
Yeah.
Is in Minnesota.
Yeah.
Bro, I've been cursed to be up north, man, because Philly, Detroit, Green Bay, Giants, Steelers.
Yeah.
That's crazy,
you
right?
You don't even get a Super Bowl in San Diego, Los Angeles, Phoenix, Miami, Tampa.
This is the first time in Phoenix, man. It's my first time, bro. So I'm anxious to, spend more because I played there. I never really kicked it. I played there and I covered games there, but I never had a chance to really enjoy Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like I can't wait to go to this. I can't wait to go ahead and partake in the cuisines down there. What's that steakhouse you told me to go to?
44.
Steakhouse 44. I'll make sure I try to.
They got a lot of great Mexican restaurants there. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Oh, I can only imagine.
You try the chicken. Try the chicken. Man, you know what? You ain't never allowed my house. You go to another steakhouse and get chicken.
All right. The reason why I did that, though, seriously, the reason why I did it because I had the chicken there before. That's why I did that. I told you that.
And like Dickers, you did.
Yeah. I had the chicken at Dickers before, and because remember I let you taste it too. You like.
You did.
It was damn, B. Brooks, I understand. You said, damn, I see why you did it because it's awesome, man. Because I had it before. It was awesome, man. It was awesome.
I don't go to a steakhouse for fish or chicken. I don't go to a fish house for chicken, for steak, and I don't go to a chicken house for fish or steak either. There's a reason why they specify what they are, and I want to make sure I get the best of what they have to offer in that regard. But, we had a producer named Neil Slotkin, who we traveled with for years. Great writer, great producer, great insight. Everywhere we went. Huh?
He's been at the job a couple of times for this past 6 months.
Yeah. Everywhere we went on road trips, he had to have chicken. He got to a point, sometimes we ditch him because we got tired of him ordering chicken at Mexican restaurant, steak at steakhouses, seafood joints. First thing you say on the menu, waiter or waitress come over, how was your chicken prepared? Man, get up from the table. Just get up. Just go. Just leave. He had to have chicken, man. Yeah,
boy John Clark, he loves him a good steak, man.
Oh, that dude, he's looking for the best steakhouse he can find every city he goes to.
Yeah.
I ain't mad at him.
He's definitely a carnivore.
But then there's occasionally you get disappointed. You go to a steakhouse because you've heard, anytime we go to a new city, we always ask, the best people to ask is the concierge in the hotels.
Yeah.
Because they know where everything is. And plus, a lot of times they have a hotel will have a connection with a restaurant that if you send X amount of people from your hotel will take care of them. So there's been places that we've gone that are famous places that you normally couldn't get in unless you booked a spot a week ahead of time. They'll make concessions for you because the hotel is sending them there. But then there are other places you go and you hear about a place and it's like, this is the best. I've been to a couple steakhouses that were supposed to be decent that were like, I will never go back there again. Steak is mushy. It doesn't have the char marks on it the way you like it. The flavoring and the seasoning is not right. And even when they give you the horseradish sauce to dip your steak in, if you so desire, doesn't taste right. It's like, really? That's it. Okay, you get one and done. That's it. Done with you.
All right. So good wins for the Chiefs, bad wins for the Chiefs, or bad losses, or whatever, however you want to put it. So they beat the Jags 27-20. They beat the Bengals 23-20 in the playoffs. Both good wins for sure. Both teams were playing well. Jags coming off the great upset. Bengals had their number. Bengals had beaten them 3 straight. Both good wins. Regular season, some of these are debatable. They beat the Chargers twice. Beat Tampa Bay, who was a playoff team. They beat San Francisco, who was a playoff team. They beat Tennessee, who wasn't a playoff team, but was They beat Jacksonville during the regular season, who was a playoff team. So in Seattle. So there's some pretty good wins there, right? Losses at the Colts week 3, home to the Bills week 6, at the Bengals week 13. Yeah, they had the same record the Eagles had. They were 14-3.
So 2 to 3 losses were legit losses.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
Yeah.
The only one you could say is the Colts. And then you look at the Eagles, they lost to the Saints in Washington, who didn't make the playoffs.
Yeah.
So it's like, this stuff happens during the regular season.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of letdown with this Kansas City team. They have continuity. They've had Bieniemy and Spagnuolo there for a while. Andy's been there for a while. Mahomes has been in place for a good amount of time. They've had some turnover at the receiver position. That much we know. They've done a good job drafting, which is a really big part of their success. I mean, what is it? 3 on offense, 4 on defense from the last year or so out of the draft contributing. Like, that's a lot.
2 years or less experience. And if you couple in several players with 3 years or less experience, this is a really young team that somehow, some way found a way to win 14 regular season games against decent competition.
Mm-hmm.
And their draft, we hone in on Philadelphia, but their draft, they hit a home run with their draft this past year in terms of players who stepped up and contributed right away for them. Mm-hmm. They have 3 rookies. I mean, think about it: McDuffie, the DN Karlaftis, and McDuff. What's his name? Pacheco.
Isaiah Pacheco. Yep.
Have been monumental in their success this season.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't happen often, but kudos to them. I mean, obviously, their drafting and scouting staff do a good job of finding these players that they want to fit their system. No question.
That's Brett Veach and Andy are really in a zone right now.
Yeah, they are
connected on the same page, right, Barrett? I mean, these guys that they're getting are not just coming in here and giving them a little bit; they're giving them a lot.
Right. I mean, they have been masterful at getting these guys to play at a high level, man. I mean, to go out and get Trent McDuffie in the first, and you got George Karlaftis in the first. That one of those draft picks they get from the trade,
right? Of
trading, the Cheetah, and then you turn right back around, and you're able to get guys, Pacheco to go in and play it. He was a 7th rounder.
Crazy.
In fact. Both their 7th rounders right now are starting. Pacheco, who's from Rutgers, and then you got Jalen Watson, who's from Washington State, cornerback. And I mean, this a big kid. I mean, he's slow as pound water, but he plays aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
He's 6'1", 202 pounds. It's gonna be a good matchup with him and AJ.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I hope they mess around and think that he can cover him one-on-one. I really pray that he think that.
Do you think that's the approach they're going to take, Barrett?
Yes, because he comes from the same. He comes from Jimmy Johnson's tree. They're going to blitz, and they're going to lead those guys one-on-one, and that's just not smart to me to play an Eagles team one-on-one on the outside, man-to-man coverage.
Yeah,
especially when you have 2 dominant wide receivers, 2 contrasting styles. Smitty, man. Smitty is a great route runner. He creates separation with his quickness and his route running. He understands body movement. He goes up and he can contort his body into different ways to catch the ball, always at the highest point. Then you got the guy that's gonna go out there and Debo make your cornerbacks look small in AJ Brown. Then you got to have somebody that's going to be able to cover, Dallas Goedert in the middle of the field.
Mm-hmm.
Can they man to man? I like Nick Bolton, but he can't do it by himself. Right now, Willie Gay is not playing. He's hurt right now. I don't know if he is going to play. Snead's hurt also, so we'll see. Brian Cook kind of tweaked something. Who's another rookie, a 2nd rounder. That's playing and getting some reps also in the slot. I don't know. I mean, how can you do that? Then up front, Frank Clark and Jones, they're doing all right. Karlaftis is doing all right.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think they'll have a direct influence on our offensive line. I know Frank Clark can be handled by both Mailata and Lane, and Kloftis also.
Right.
It's a wash. The only guy that we have to think about, Chris Jones is that good that you got to figure out where he is.
Mm-hmm.
You have to. And he plays everywhere on that D-line. He plays it in, 3 technique, nose. He's good.
He's Bosa. He's in terms of like the guy that you have to figure out, or else he'll kill you.
He's better than Bosa.
Yeah.
Hey, B. Brooks, you were talking about places you want to try, the local cuisine, and John Dickerson has the perfect place for you to try. He says it's Dirty's Topless Sports Bar and Grill in Phoenix, $7 steak and fries.
$7? That's not a bad deal. You might be spending your money on other things in there.
Look here, man. I ain't spending $7 on no steak. You spend $7 on a steak. You know what you get? Something that was under a car tire in the middle of a hot Arizona
True,
desert
but you're
road.
saving up your dollar bills for something else.
It might be good too.
Okay,
Nothing like good steak and entertainment, bro.
Go ahead. Yeah. Go ahead then. All right. Is the wife going out to Arizona too?
You know it.
Huh?
You know it.
Okay, yeah. Go ahead.
He won't be going there.
Find out you had Dirties. Go ahead. I want to see that when you come back.
Dirties will be on the menu
with a big bubble on your eye the next week.
No, he'll be in cleanies if that's the case.
Hey, look. Hey, Barkan, what'd you say? Yeah.
Let's go to Cyclops Brooks. Bear Brooks live on the scene. Bear, what happened to your bubble eye?
Exactly. Oh my God. All right. On that note,
so you say $7 steak and top. Only dank, man. Only dank, bro.
That's it.
That's it.
All right, let's come back. We'll hit mix in a little Sixers, a little Phillies fun facts for you as they're getting close to pitchers and catchers. And then in the NFL segment, a little movement from Deuce Staley. Dolphins make a move. Jimmy G. We'll remember Bobby Beathard. Brady retirement question regarding his maybe future gig. Super Bowl odds for next year as well. A lot in store. Don't go anywhere. Derek Gunn, Barrett Brooks, Rob Ellis. We're Sports Take, JAKIB Sports YouTube Network. Right now, we're going to talk about Flynn Tree Services. Yes, Flynn Tree Services is an experienced, licensed, and insured Pennsylvania tree services company that will trim or remove any unwanted trees off of your property. They offer cost-effective solutions to any tree problem that you may face. So if you have any type of tree issue in your yard or on your property, they're just a quick phone call away, and they service southeastern Pennsylvania, South Jersey, and northern Delaware. They specialize in tree removal, stump grinding, as well as tree pruning. Keep in mind, we have storm and hurricane season upon us right now. It's a great time before things get really crazy as we get deeper into the winter to get your trees evaluated. Go to their Facebook or Instagram page for more information or a sampling of their work. Give Flynn Tree Services a call, 610-850-2848, 610-850-2848, or online at flynntreeservices.com. That's flynntreeservices.com.
Go for the beers. Go for the cheers. Go for the hit and the hits. Go for the scene. Go for the screens. Go for the gallery. Go for the win. Go to Ocean.
Jeff D'Ambrosio doesn't need a special event to appreciate his customers. Jeff shows his appreciation to them every day of the year. Jeff makes sure to stock more new inventory than anyone and guarantees prices and payments that nobody can beat. There are so many reasons that thousands of customers know Jeff is the easy, friendly place to do business. More for their trades. No judgment zone for credit issues. The best, most reliable service department in the country. That's why I like Jeff, and I know you will too. Jeff will satisfy you every day. Jeff D'Ambrosio, Destination Downingtown Owner Appreciation Event.
Weather forecasting is a team game.
We rely on each other every day, updating the models and passing along new critical information.
We have a team of 5 experienced meteorologists and a specialized weather producer, Paul. Say hi, Paul.
Sometimes what I see in the model, Cecily could see something different.
That's when we come together as a team to make our most accurate prediction.
And all of this backed by more than 100 AccuWeather scientists. It's a team game.
And we have the best team in town.
the greatest fans on earth. It's a bold statement, but would you expect anything less from Philadelphia? 58 years of heartache creates a toughness, a grit, a resolve not found in most. Sure, our prayers were answered, but now that we've had a taste, we're looking for more. Pondley Hockey, official partner of the Philadelphia Eagles.
Post-game show with Seth Joyner.
I knew that they had a running game.
Derek Gunn.
He has put in the effort.
Devin Caney.
Had we not won the Super Bowl, what would we be saying?
And Mike Missinelli.
Well, you know who Philly is.
Post-game, now streaming on the 6ABC family of apps.
What's up, everybody? Sports Take on this Thursday. JAKIB Sports YouTube Network hanging out with you. D-Gun, B. Brooks, R. Ellis. All right, let's talk a little Sixers, guys. They win last night. They responded after that bad loss on Monday, 105-94 over the Magic. They are now 33-17 on the season. Kind of the usual suspects stepping up big. Joel Embiid, 28-11 in the game. James Harden, nearly a triple-double, 26, 10 assists, 9 rebounds for the Sixers. It was another game where it was probably a little bit too close for comfort really into the third, and then the Sixers really started to pull away later in the third and into the fourth. They sort of enforced their will. And I know we were texting back and forth last night. After a really bad start, the Magic are not an awful team. They're a team that's going to be trouble in a year or two. They're not there yet, but they got some good talented players for sure.
They have some good inside muscle, good perimeter shooters. Their hands are always swiping at the ball. You know, that's the one thing I noticed about this team. They're always swiping at the ball. They took the ball away from Embiid at one point. I'm happy with the win, but as I said on the show yesterday, kind of jokingly, but kind of seriously, I was hoping they'd bury that team just to send a message to them. But, you know, up until midway through the fourth quarter, Orlando gave them a game. It really did give them a game. And then out of desperation, they started hoisting up shots, jacking up shots, and clanging off the rim, and the Sixers were able to capitalize on it and put it away. Take the win any way you can get it. But you're right. That team, that Orlando team, if they keep building that in the right direction, they're going to be heard from in a couple of years. Yeah. They got a good young nucleus of players. Even Falk has improved this game. I was shocked.
Yeah, definitely. He's definitely.
Falk, yeah.
He, I mean, to me, he reminds me of a rabbit, man. The way he hops around everywhere. You know what I'm saying? He never gets tired, man. He's one of those guys like an energizer.
He's bouncy. Yeah.
But I mean, you're right, man. But I just don't see them. I mean, because look, Suggs, great player. Well, he'll be a great player. Wagner will be a great player later on. Mm-hmm. They have a nucleus of guys that are starting to gel well together. You know, from the outside. You know, they're more so wings and guards. You know how their team is constructed.
Yeah. Look, I think you're right.
We should have buried them, but I like the fact that our two stars carried this game.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you want that. You know, you want Harden and Embiid to be the guys that, you know, lead you through and lead by example. After they lost a bad loss to a bad team, they come back and beat the team. Yeah. And your two stars leads the way. I'm good with that.
No, I'm with you. They'll come out with the full blown all-star selections tonight. You know, I would figure Embiid's a lock. He's, you know, I know he's ticked off. He's not starting. I get it. But do we think Harden makes it?
No.
Ooh. I don't think so either.
I don't think so. No, I don't think so.
He's not one of the best guards, the best point guards, because he's literally just a point. He used to be a shooting guard. He's literally a point guard now.
Yeah, it's a loaded. You're just so loaded at the position.
Too many point guards. Yeah.
Yeah, but he's had a good year for them. I got to give him props. You know,
right.
You know, he's definitely not the scorer, but he can do a lot of different things, and he's adapting his game, which I think will help his longevity in the league. You know, that's for sure. So there you go on the Sixers. The trade deadline, by the way, is a week away. Pretty close. You know, there's still thought.
You're
I saw one rumor the other day they may try and reacquire Andre Drummond.
Why?
Because I don't – two things. I don't think Doc likes Paul Reed. He doesn't like B-ball Paul. And it's just my impression.
B-ball Paul.
Right.
And I think that some of the shortcomings with Montrezl Harrell drives him crazy too. It would not surprise me. Just that's the one I would put out there that I think.
Do you not like him?
I think he has a very short fuse with B-ball Paul. I would like to see B-ball Paul get a little bit more run than he gets. Okay. I think he's a little bit unfair with him. Doc does not love the young guys to begin with, but B-ball Paul I think drives him crazy because he's a little foul happy. He will commit a foul. He's over aggressive at times. He's not as polished I think as Doc would want him to be, but I like him. But Doc
he gave him 3 minutes.
Well, he also, you could tell last night he was so pissed at Harrell and Harrell's defense. Like he yanked him real quick too last night. He had a very short leash for either one of those two guys. So we'll see. We'll see what. And the big question too is does Matisse Thybulle get traded at the trade deadline? That'll be interesting to see what happens.
I think this year will definitely be a possibility.
Yeah,
more so than any other year. I think they're going to try to trade him.
Yeah, wouldn't surprise me. That's for sure. Phillies are close. Believe it or not, guys. Pitchers and catchers, 2 weeks away. 2 weeks away from fully reporting. It feels like they just finished playing a minute ago, but they're 2 weeks away.
2 weeks.
Pitchers and catchers. Yeah, full squad is February 21st. So full squad's 19 days away. Pitchers and catchers 2 weeks away. Right around the corner.
Can you imagine the volume of people they're going to get for spring training games down there?
Oh, they are
going to be a thing.
You're right. They're going to kill it, Derek.
The years I had to cover the Phillies, and this was back when they weren't that great. It was packed then. I can't even begin to imagine what it's going to be like with Trey Turner and all these new pitchers. And plus, that's the time of year when the snowbirds like to get away for a nice warm weekend. But then again, going to Clearwater, you don't know when it's going to be warm or cold.
Yeah,
but you go
a little hit or miss sometimes.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. You get better access to players. You can get up closer to them, get some autographs, maybe shake a hand or two. Then you got the locals who are from here who moved down there because of health reasons or just warm weather, tired of the cold. You're gonna have a strong contingent at every Phillies game this spring.
Mm-hmm.
As it should, though.
Yeah,
they just came out the World Series. 2 games short.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, deservedly so. And it's going to still be a natural rush because the parade will be next week, spring training a couple days after that. Everybody just be excited about, Philadelphia
Philly
sports. It'll just ride the wave, man. Ride the wave.
Well, I think that, remember last year was very much a wait and see approach. I'm talking about the regular season for fans, really until the playoffs, right? I mean, they didn't draw great up until then. I think it's going to be much different this year. Much different.
Will you go down, Rob? You like to make those little trips every now and then.
I love Clearwater. I don't know. I'd like to be able to pull it off, but I don't know if I'll be able to. But yeah, I would love to. It's a great thing. Like the ballpark's great. There's no bad seats. It's a nice place to be. You're right by the beach. There's a lot of great restaurants down there. If people haven't been, and I think it's yeah. Oh yeah. There's a lot of good places down there. There really are. Should go. I was in Arizona for like a couple days last year, and I think it was right before pitchers and catchers reported. Like a lot of the Midwest and West Coast teams trained in Arizona, but I would love to have seen that setup too. I rode right past where they were all, where the ballparks are. It looked pretty cool. But yeah, you should go. It's fun. I'm telling you, it is a lot of fun. You get to see some younger players. You're right, Derek. You get access maybe if you're an autograph person. They'll give you a little bit better, better option than you do sometimes at regular ballparks. That's for sure.
Go get you a great steak at Mons Venus
Steakhouse. And where?
Mons Venus.
Man, you ain't get no great steak at Mons Venus. Come on, man. You know where you going to Mons Venus. I know my boy Brian Spielman, man, he would talk about the food was great, and I'm like, okay, I'll take your word for it. I don't need to be up in there. Don't need to go in there. Not gonna do it.
Yes.
Yeah, you ain't getting me in trouble. Look at Rob. Oh, Rob, you been to Mons Venus?
I mean, that's what I've heard. I mean, I heard that.
Robert, Maggie.
It is a. I'm told it's a higher level than maybe some other places down there in Florida. Yes,
I do. I've heard dudes talk about how that
Stills
place
knows.
is like 3
Playboy. Lifetime Mons Venus cards. Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Seals. No wonder Seals wants to move back to Florida.
Exactly. Yet another reason, not just taxes. Yes.
He said he's got 3 lifetime.
Yeah. That's right. Lifetime Achievement Awards.
Jeez.
Oh my God. All right. On that note, so here's some little cool tidbits Phillies wise. They will send 2,400 baseballs. They're packing up the trucks, and the trucks are leaving today, by the way. 2,000 short and long sleeve T-shirts, 1,200 bats, 900 pairs of socks, 300 batting gloves, 40 heavy coats will be headed down. That's not even to mention bubble gum and all the other sunflower seeds and all that stuff. That's just the basic,
only 40
baseball
coats?
stuff.
Only
I guess
40?
they're anticipating it being warm, Derek. I don't know.
Well, you think about how many minor leaguers you have training with the parent team. You have additional coaches as well. Yep. Only 40 coats? Somebody's not getting a coat.
Well, that's when you find out where you are in the pecking order and how good a chance you have to making the team. That's when you find that out.
Yeah, you better have your own stuff shipped down. If you're like a single A player who's getting looked at by them, you better bring your own stuff. You better have mom and dad pack your winning. Yeah, bring your own coats and your own mitten warmers and all that stuff for those rare cool days. Yeah, So 40 coats, that's it. You got all these balls and bats and all that stuff, but we're only sending 40 coats. Man, please. They got 40 coats stashed away from last year. What?
I would actually bring a fishing rod if I was down there.
That too. Or, players like to take their golf clubs.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's true.
But you're right, Barrett. Fishing rod, all those man-made ponds and lakes and streams running through there.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes.
That's for sure. All right, circle back to the Eagles for a second because A.J. Brown was talking earlier, and I thought this was a really interesting point. The Eagles got off to an 8-0 start, right? And, massive, what are they, 15-1, whatever it was, or 13-1 start, and they were 8-0. But anyway, what A.J. said I thought was interesting. He said, we got off to that 8-0 start, and we really didn't change our approach. He's like, I've been on teams where they kind of sniff themselves a little bit at times. He said, we didn't change our approach. And he thinks that's really going to help them this week and next week with all the Super Bowl hype of just staying focused and not believing what you're reading or you're seeing. And he makes an interesting point that you've kind of gone through this a little bit during the regular season with everybody blowing smoke. Maybe that's a factor here with this squad. The team that doesn't always they have 4 holdovers from the last Super Bowl, so there are some young guys still.
There's actually 6.
Is it 6? Brandon, Lane, Kelsey, Cox, Elliott, and Lovato. Is that what it is?
Yep.
Okay.
6 guys for that team. So this is a totally different team than it was before. And hold on. Sayamalo was there. He just didn't start.
Okay.
7.
Yep.
Sayamalo was there. So that's why it's a totally different team. Totally different weapons. Quarterback position is ultimately different. Even the way the defense is ran, the defense is called. I mean, if we'd have lost that game, if we'd have lost that Super Bowl, it would be the Super Bowl that what's his name lost. What was he's the defensive coordinator. What was his name?
Schwartz.
It would have been the Super Bowl that Schwartz lost.
For sure with the amount of points they gave up,
and yardage over 500 yards.
Yeah.
We couldn't stop anything, bro. We couldn't stop anything.
Right. If the Eagles don't get this, if Brandon doesn't get the strip sack, that's probably another. They're probably at 48 points or 30. Exactly. I'm sorry, 40 points. They were at 30.
Probably going to overtime.
Yep.
Yes. 100%. You're right. Yeah, Schwartz is vilified if that's the case.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah.
And nobody really talks about it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Nobody talks about it. We should talk about it because we got our butt kicked.
Yeah.
So
yeah, on that side of the ball, you're right. I mean, I think, you're presented with a similar challenge in that this is a really good offense. That much we know. But I just have more faith in this defense being able to make some plays and getting some stops and perhaps creating, multiple turnovers. I feel much better. As good as that defense was, and it was good, I don't see this defense getting torched like that one did. I just don't think that's who they are.
Yeah, but you got I don't either, Rob. I don't see I don't see Kansas City putting up over 500 yards of offense, but I guarantee you Mahomes is going to put up at least 300 yards passing in this game out of necessity. Will it be effective or ineffective passing yards? That remains to be seen. He may get 300 yards because they're so far behind. They're just trying to throw to make the game respectable, or somehow, some way, Andy Reid and Eric Bieniemy find something in Eagles defense that we don't see, and they keep exploiting it to a certain degree, and he's racking up yards as well. You don't know. Can't wait to see how it plays itself out. But I guarantee you Kansas City's going to have 300 yards passing in that game.
Yeah, to think that this is going to be you're going to hold them to 10 points or 7 points. The Eagles are averaging 7 points in the playoffs. I mean, that no prayer. That's the one thing. The offense is going to have to show up more. And that when I say that, I realize they took their foot off the pedal in a lot of cases too. They could have scored a lot more than they did. So it's just going to be a different approach in this game than what we saw. But
I mean that, and people don't really think about you calling the game as the game is unfolding.
Right.
Just because you can score doesn't ultimately mean you're trying to score all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you're just trying to keep the ball on your side of the field. Keep their offense off the field. So you're not just going down and trying to score real fast. Maybe you're sitting back and you're not, you're just trying to eat clock up. You know what I'm saying? There's so many facets of the game that people just don't get. You can't just think that you can score every time and think you're cool. No, I mean, that's the way that game unfolded in the Super Bowl. Nick Foles had to keep on scoring, touchdown for touchdown, field goal for field goal.
Mm-hmm.
Or did you look this last game we just played against 49ers? We were playing keep away. We knew that they couldn't score. We just had to keep their offense off the field. So that's why we dominated up front, So it is what it is, man. I hate when people say, oh, they're not scoring many points or they're not throwing this and not doing the game unfolds in front of you. You know what I'm saying? And as the games unfold, that's when things, should happen the way they should.
Yeah.
You shouldn't think that, because you can score doesn't mean you just score every single time.
Right. No question about it. I mean, look, I keep getting back to, I go trenches. I'll take the Eagles offensive line. I'll take the Eagles defensive line. Receivers, I'll take the Eagles receivers.
Mm-hmm.
Kansas City is they can run the ball. It's not like they can't. But the Eagles, are a real good running team. I don't know. Where would you guys get the advantage on either side in running the ball? Eagles?
I'll give the Eagles the advantage. Kansas City only runs a set up the pass. Yeah, Kansas City averaged 113 yards a game rushing.
Yeah, they're not
but
looking
in
to do
terms
that
of
much.
just pure running, I give it to the Eagles. I give it to Gainwell and Sanders over Pacheco. Even as tough as Pacheco is, I still give it to those two over Pacheco.
All right, how about linebackers?
I think we have the better linebackers. I like Bolton. Bolton's good, man. He's really good.
He is good.
But he's still young yet. I like our linebackers. But Willie Gay's good, but I think we have the better of the linebackers just because we have, TJ Edwards is playing at a high level. Say what you want to say. He'll be on everybody's radar as being one of the top linebackers in the league this next year. Kazir White is, for the past 4 games, he has showed up.
Yeah, yes.
He showed up in the postseason. He showed up in the last 2 games of the regular season.
Yeah, he's really showed up to Mailata. Mailata's
Yes,
been a lot better lately
because he's healthy.
Yeah.
And I talked to him the other day. His shoulder was really screwed up, bro. He couldn't lift it half the time. He out there blocking. So he's healthy now. That's why he's playing healthier.
Okay.
But I think the slight edge goes with the linebacker position goes with the Eagles.
How about secondary?
No question, Eagles.
Oh, Eagles, no question.
No question.
All right, so quarterback, I think we're all in agreement. You'd go Mahomes, but it's not like Jalen Hurts is
dog crap. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, is Brock Purdy or Daniel Jones.
So
there's way more advantages for the Eagles here in this game, position-wise.
Oh, yeah.
Now, coaching, Big Red, certainly. I mean, the guy's a Hall of Famer. And
that's what scares. That's the only thing that puts a little doubt in my head. Not scares, but put a little doubt in my head. Anytime you give Reed an extra week to prepare for you, you never know what you're going to get in the red zone.
Very true, man. Very true.
You never know.
It ain't conventional plays, that's for sure.
Right.
No.
Right. It's going to crush all your keys where you're supposed to go. It's and that's the nature of it. That's why you just got to keep on scoring. Just keep on lighting them up.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Keep Mahomes off the field.
All right, we're going to come back, and we are going to dip into the NFL. Like I said, a bunch of stuff. We'll get some Super Bowl odds for next year. We'll look into some coaching movement, who's hot, who's not, where certain guys may be going. Jimmy G latest, Brady retirement. We'll dig into all of it when we return. Don't go anywhere. Derek Gunn, Barrett Brooks, Rob Ellis, Sports Take, JAKIB Sports YouTube Network. Right now, we're going to talk about Razor technology because data is everywhere in business today. But when it's locked away in silos, it can't be efficiently used, and businesses don't have the time to wait for the insights that shape decision-making. Razor Technology's data management not only integrates data from wherever it's generated or collected, but provides a uniform structure for storing, interpreting, and distributing it to decision makers. Razor Technology helps businesses transform and model their data, use it to populate real-time dashboards, and create shareable reports that highlight key areas of progress as well as warning signs in need of attention. Smart data analytics and the tools to make data insights easily digestible help businesses of all sizes and types discover where they could be untapping significant savings. Razor Technology can help you break down your silos and fully realize the value of your data to drive growth for your business. To learn more, contact Razor Technology today at 866-797-3282, 866-797-3282, or visit them online at razor-tech.com. That's razor-tech.com.
Go for the beers, go for the cheers, go for the hit and the hits, go for the scene, go for the screens, go for the gallery, go for the win, go to Ocean.
Jeff D'Ambrosio doesn't need a special event to appreciate his customers. Jeff shows his appreciation to them every day of the year. Jeff makes sure to stock more new inventory than anyone and guarantees prices and payments that nobody can beat. There are so many reasons that thousands of customers know Jeff is the easy, friendly place to do business. More for their trades, no judgment zone for credit issues, the best, most reliable service department in the country. That's why I like Jeff, and I know you will too. Jeff will satisfy you every day. Jeff D'Ambrosio, Destination Downingtown, Owner Appreciation Event.
Weather forecasting is a team game.
We rely on each other every day, updating the models and passing along new critical information.
We have a team of 5 experienced meteorologists and a specialized weather producer, Paul. Say hi, Paul.
Sometimes what I see in the model, Cecily could see something different.
That's when we come together as a team to make our most accurate prediction.
And all of this backed by more than 100 AccuWeather scientists. It's a team game.
And we have the best team in town.
The greatest fans on earth. It's a bold statement, but would you expect anything less from Philadelphia? 58 years of heartache creates a toughness, a grit, a resolve not found in most. Sure, our prayers were answered, but now that we've had a taste, we're looking for more. Pondley Hockey, official partner of the Philadelphia Eagles.
Post-game show with Seth Joyner.
I knew that they had a running game.
Derek Gunn.
He has put in the effort.
Devin Caney.
Had we not won the Super Bowl, what would we be saying?
And Mike Missinelli.
Well, you know who Philly is.
Post-game, now streaming on the 6ABC family of apps.
We're back. Yes, we are. What's up, everybody? Sports Take, JAKIB Sports YouTube Network. That is Gunner. That is B. Brooks. Brooksy. I am Rob Ellis hanging out with you on this Thursday. All right, so NFL, guys, couple things. Deuce Staley, old friend Deuce Staley, is headed to the Carolina Panthers to join up with Frank Reich. Those two, of course, coached together here with the Eagles. Deuce was the assistant head coach and running backs coach in Detroit. They have not announced what his title will be. You would assume that either it's going to be something elevated a little bit, or maybe Deuce asked, there's some talk that he asked to be let out to get back to Carolina because his mother is not doing great. And she's from the South Carolina area, which is not all that far from where the Panthers are. So we don't know yet, but Deuce headed out of Detroit to the Carolina Panthers.
Deuce is another one of these coaches, man. You wonder why he's never really gotten a shot to become a head coach in the National Football League, because players love playing for him. He has an old school mentality. He's a no-nonsense coach, but he can also yuck it up with his players. But he is tough on his players, man. But he gets the most out of them. The fact that he's getting to go home, I mean, he's already, assistant head coach? So I don't know what kind of elevated position it could be. But so, yeah, obviously it's got to be for other reasons. But, Frank Reich just got himself a really good coach, playing bottom line. He got himself a really good coach, another players type coach, and whoever he's coaching, if it's the running backs or whoever the case may be, they will play at a maximum effort for Deuce Staley, or they will not play at all. Plain and simple.
Well, I mean, think about how good Detroit was offensively, and you're getting a guy from that staff where that team, it wasn't offense that kept them from, just missing the playoffs. It was defense. So, Deuce did something right over there, for sure. And the running attack was really good. It was a nice two-headed monster there that they had.
Yeah. I mean, he had one back with less than – he had one back at one time, he had less than 200 yards, but had like 14 or 15 touchdowns.
Right.
Jamal Williams had 15 regular season touchdowns,
Yeah, and Swift can do a lot of things. He's just got to stay on the field. So, yeah, that's it's a good look, and good for Deuce if this was just basically, hey, I need to get close to family, whatever. But we'll
I hope that's the case.
Yeah. What ends up happening there, he's a South Carolina native. Mm-hmm. It finally happened. It's been rumored for a while, but the reports now are that Vic Fangio will, in fact, go to the Dolphins. There was talk that he might end up in San Francisco when D'Amico Ryans went to take the Texans job, et cetera. Other teams, looking into him as you would expect. But that's a nice get for Mike McDaniel and that crew to get Vic Fangio as their D coordinator.
And they have some guys there.
Oh, yeah, there's some talent on that side of the ball. And they made the trade to get Chubb, if you remember, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. They got a young Lucas. I like their corners. Julian, what's his name? Jalen Phillips from out of Miami.
Yeah, the edge rusher. Yeah.
Edge rusher. Christian Wilkins.
Mm-hmm.
Really good edge rusher. Raekwon Davis. Yeah, they're gonna be all right, bro.
I agree. I look, for them, this amounts to just what happens with Tua, man. And can he get you through it? That's really it. It's there. There's a lot of they have good receivers. They have a good tight end. They have a running attack. I think they have a defense. Yeah, there's a lot there.
Well,
just one more year in this system.
Who would not want to go to Miami?
Oh, Miami's ruined a lot of people's careers lately.
Yeah.
You gotta have
strong-willed, strong-willed there.
Got to. Let somebody else do it.
Yeah,
he said let somebody else do it.
Yeah, that's what you get mindset you're gonna have. Let somebody else do it.
So that's where he's headed. Wink Martindale, according to some reports, is in the top 2 in terms of candidates for the Colts gig, which is this one's been going on for a little while here. But yeah, he's apparently legitimately in the mix there. The Giants defensive coordinator. If you're an Eagles fan, you're thrilled with that. Get him out of here. Get him out of the NFC East.
You never lie.
If I'm the Colts, I'm looking for more of an offensive-minded coach. I mean, you have the personnel. You can bring in a good defensive coordinator, but you got to do something to upgrade that offense significantly. You don't know who your quarterback's going to be. You have one of the best running backs in the game, decent offensive line. You need to get some more big-time pass catchers in there. But, I'm looking more for an offensive kind of guy to go in there more so deep, especially if you're going to groom a young quarterback. I don't know. I mean, but then
I hear
it is the Colts.
It is the Colts. You never know. Hey, Andy Reid just said this, and pretty interesting. He doubts Mecole Hardman is going to be able to play in the Super Bowl with that pelvis injury.
Ooh,
he's been out for like 6 weeks now, right?
Yeah, that's huge. Yeah. That's huge.
Yeah, that's a big
one.
Yeah, that's a big weapon for Mahomes not to be there. So
that's the closest thing Mahomes has to a deep threat.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So he and you know how Andy is when it comes to injuries. If he's saying that, I don't think it's gamesmanship.
No, not at all.
Yeah. So no Mecole Hardman there. That was interesting. Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch met with the media yesterday and talked about a number of different things. They still, by the way, no word yet on Brock Purdy if he's going to have the surgery or not. They're still getting, second and third opinions on that. What surgery he may have to get. Either will they just let it heal? Will he go with the lesser invasive or the Tommy John? They don't know yet exactly what it's going to be there for him. But what also was interesting coming out of this, and we've been down this road before, but according to Shanahan, a split with Jimmy G, very likely. He said he didn't see a scenario where he was coming back next year. We're paraphrasing it, but that's essentially what they're saying. And Barrett pointed this out during our pre-show meeting, and he's right. That was sort of what was coming out of there last year, but stuff happened and it changed and injuries and all that. But it just feels like this time it's done, and he's a free agent too. He's a full-blown free agent. Now we'll see.
Well, the big question now is, where does Jimmy G best fit in? There's like 8 teams out there that are in dire straits looking for a quarterback to get them over the hump. And Jimmy G is not an elite quarterback, but he's a very good quarterback.
Right.
So what would be the best fit for him right now?
It feels like it's more likely like a team like Tampa, who doesn't have a real high pick, to be able to grab one of the college kids coming out, right?
Right.
So that would make sense.
What about Saints?
That's a good name. That's
Dalton,
a good name.
I mean, Dalton's a free agent.
Yeah.
Jets.
All they need is a quarterback to manage that thing.
But a lot of this is Rodgers, right? Where Rodgers ends up, because with Brady stepping aside, I think that opens Vegas up, and he goes and gets reunited with Devontae Adams, potentially.
Ooh,
or does he?
If that happens, I'll be back on my Raiders.
Does he go to? Would he go to Houston? Considering what they have down there, would he go to Houston?
Oh man,
I don't think they would. I think they want to start
rebuilding project.
Yeah, I think they're drafting a guy. Don't you think? I mean,
I think so also.
Okay, what about Carolina?
That is not crazy.
It's not at all.
Yeah, but is Reich scarred by trying to do the veteran thing the last couple of years with Wentz and Matt Ryan? Is he a little scarred by that?
Jimmy G's not a locker room problem.
No, no, Ryan isn't either. He was just kind of cooked. But
no, not Ryan. But I'm saying Wentz was a problem. Yeah. Ryan's problem. Ryan got older faster. Jimmy G still got some youth in him.
Yeah, Ryan hit a wall, man.
He did. He sure did.
He get old fast. I like the way you said that because I hadn't thought about it like that. But yeah, he showed his age real fast, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How many times was he benched this season? Was he benched like 3 times this season?
Yeah.
Oh,
He got Irsay forced Reich to bench him. You remember that? And it was like Sam Ellinger for a little while.
Oh, yeah.
Then Saturday comes in and says, "Yeah, forget that. It's going to be Matt Ryan again." Like, okay, I guess different rules for different people, I guess. But
wow.
Speaking of that, where is Carson Wentz next year?
on his bird hunting farm.
Yes.
You guys both think he's not playing football next year?
Selling meat. He has a meat company now.
Does he?
Yeah.
No, I think he'll play somewhere.
I think he's somewhere next year.
Yeah, I think there's too many open spots. But as strange as it may sound, there might be one other team willing to give this dude a chance, man. And it's, because Washington needs a quarterback, Tampa needs a quarterback. So there's too many teams out there, and there's too few quarterbacks. Somebody's gonna jump on this dude out of desperation, man.
You think? I don't. Like, I think he'll play. But I really don't believe that someone is going to have the intent of him being their starter. I think that's done.
It's not that. It's the amount of money that he's going to want to have to go to a team. Like, he's used to making like $30 million a year.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
See what he's got on his contract.
Will he take something less than that?
If he wants to play, he will.
Well, I mean, he might still be, if any of that's guaranteed, he might be still being paid by Washington, who's on the hook for him now, right? He signed a 4-year, $128 with the Eagles, $16 million signing bonus. Man, 107 of the 128 is guaranteed.
Woo!
Damn. He'll earn a base salary of $20 million with a $6 million roster bonus. Geez, man, this year.
What is he approaching? The third year of this contract?
But here's the thing, though. Here's the thing, right? There isn't any guaranteed money this year. There's no guaranteed money. If I'm reading this the right way. $6 million roster bonus if he's on a roster, but there's no guaranteed salary.
I don't know.
So I guess the upfront part was all there. He got paid up front.
I'd bring him in and let him compete. I wouldn't promise him anything other than you will have the opportunity to compete for a starting job. That's all I would give him.
I wouldn't want that guy anywhere near young, impressionable quarterbacks from what we're hearing. I wouldn't want them thinking they knew it all like he did, not being willing to be coached and trying to play hero ball and forming bad habits.
Exactly.
True.
So I wouldn't want him. Maybe to back up a veteran that maybe like I don't know, Miami, because you have such a risk of Tua being injured. But then they have Bridgewater. Is Bridgewater still there? Was that a 1-year deal? I'm trying to remember.
I think it was a 1-year deal.
Maybe something like that, but not around young kids, man. No way. I would not do it.
He definitely wouldn't teach him anything.
No, well, you wouldn't learn. You'd learn bad habits, not good habits.
Well,
from him. Bobby Beathard passed away, longtime executive in the league. He was 86 years old. He's a 2018 Pro Football Hall of Famer. Incredible resume, really. He was the personnel director of the Miami Dolphins when they went undefeated in 72, and he was there in 73 when they won. He was there for 2 of the Super Bowls during the run that Washington went on in the 80s. When he was the one who hired Joe Gibbs, by the way, when they had the Hogs and that whole crew, Art Monk and those guys, Gary Clark. So he was there for 2 of those, and he took the Chargers to a Super Bowl, which is not an easy thing. So he is one of the all-time great personnel people that the league has ever seen.
Yep.
He's been a part of 4 overall Super Bowl champions. So,
Yeah.
I mean, executive for 5 different teams.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a bad career at all.
Yeah.
Pro Football Hall of Fame 2018. And for a while, he was an analyst on TV. So this dude was making money left and right. It's not like he's ever had to worry about being in the game. In some capacity, he was He's always been associated with the game, but man, I think he's 86 already. Seems like he was on TV yesterday giving his analysis.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah. Impressive career, man. His grandson, CJ, played in the league. I think is he on Jacksonville's roster? I think he's still on a roster, but that's his grandson. Chris Richard is out as the Saints co-defensive coordinator. Ryan Nielsen also out. He left on his own to take the job in Atlanta, but they were the two co-defensive coordinators this past year under Dennis Allen. Both those guys are out. So they're going to be looking for somebody. The Saints are on the defensive side.
And the big names are already gone, Word is Steve Wilkes may be going to San Francisco now.
Okay. That'd be a good place for him. Yeah, he would crush it. Yeah,
it would. So now you got to find obviously Dennis Allen. It's going to be Dennis Allen's defense. So he's going to have to find a subordinate
and that's the
willing
problem
to take orders from him. Yeah.
Exactly. That's the problem. How do you find an understudy that's going to run your system?
That's true. Yeah.
So that'll be the big thing right there. It'll be hard to bring somebody in that's going to run his system the way he wants. That's why it's more so defensive than it is offensive. Offensively, offensive coaches, they tend to be more open to that, but not defensive coaches.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens there. Mike McCarthy is going to call the plays in Dallas, and it's going to be more of a traditional West Coast that he ran in Green Bay, which means Dak and the offense, it's going to be a new system, and these guys are going to be learning a new system. So I look, Jerry Jones is going all in with this guy. He's going to keep him in place, and he's going to let him call plays now. They fired Kellen Moore, and they're still looking for somebody, to run things, to be the OC, right? So it's going to be Mike McCarthy's gig, just to sort of run the show here.
They made many questionable calls in offensive play calling when Kellen Moore was at the helm. Now you're giving it back to a guy who got jettisoned out of Green Bay because of his play calling, and you're giving the reins back to him. And it's going to be the first time in Dak Prescott's career he's going to have a scheme change as well. Mm-hmm. So you got a guy calling plays who people have chastised his play calling ability over the last 4 or 5 years. You're going to change the scheme for the quarterback. Yeah, Jerry, you got a disaster brewing here. Yeah. I like this already. Yeah.
Yeah. It feels about the same. And it's always a disaster with Jerry. Gotta love that. So we'll see what ends up happening there.
That's why we all said that. We all said it.
Yeah.
Just keep him here.
Yeah, that's it. Keep Jerry, healthy, and let's keep it going. I'm just kidding. It's a joke. Everybody calm down. All right. So the Brady deal in retirement that he has sitting on the table, if he wants to accept it from Fox, is 10 years, $375 million. He would slide into the number one analyst seat that is held by Greg Olson right now with Kevin Burkhardt. So he would be the number one guy. But guys, this is for $37.5 million per year for 10 years. Oh. Absurd. Like, does a broadcaster influence a game that much for you? Like, I don't get this. I know he's Tom Brady, by the way. I know he's not just some guy off the street. I understand. But still.
Well, Romo's making 17.
Man.
Yeah, but 37 and a half, B. Brooks. 37 million. Now think about this. If you count 17,
bro, you got to tell me, because
18 regular season games.
That's the way I feel when I look at your checks and look at my checks.
You ought to quit lying. You ought to stop that.
Yeah, that's funny.
You ought to quit lying like that.
Yeah,
because I'm about to apply for food stamps. But dude, think about it. You get 6 months off in a year, basically.
Yes.
You work one day. Now, granted, they do a few days. You got to sit down with the coach, talk about the coach and players. This is what they told us on Thursday at our practice. And then you go to the game and you give your opinion on something you've been doing for 5 years of your life. Okay, 30, 40 years of your life, and you're off 6 months, and you're getting $37 million for 6 months of work. Think about that. You make 1 appearance, 2 appearances in the preseason, 18 regular season weeks. And if you're in a playoff game, maybe 2 weeks of playoffs. So 18, 20, 21, 22, 22 weeks of work, you're going to get $37 million.
Yep. Not
Think
bad.
about that.
Not bad. Yeah, I mean, look, Tom was really hurting for money, so thank God he landed on his feet. You know, we didn't know. But yeah, that's the thing to me. Like, I don't know. He doesn't. There's not that. I'm not a Tony Romo fan. Even when he was doing the calling out the plays thing, I know, but like, does it really draw in? Like, you're already going to have your core audience there if it's a big game, and those guys are working the big games. Like, I just don't understand the need to pay them like that. I don't know. I don't
either. But I do think certain announcers enhance your adrenaline level. When you talk about Madden Summerall, a Jim Nantz, a Gus Johnson, you know, when you watch games that they call, I mean, you know, it does get you jacked up even a little bit more so than you already are. I like to listen to them for the insights, you know, the little storylines they tell, the stats they give, and some are a lot smoother than others, making those transitions in and out of plays without missing a beat when they're calling a game. So there's certain announcers I look forward to calling, especially big games. You know, for the most part, though, you know, and I know we debated this before. See, I'll listen to Tony Romo because Romo, although he has one of my uncles used to call diarrhea of the mouth, you know, you can't stop. He gives you information. You know, a lot of times he tells you the play that's coming up and the play's run. He does his homework. You can't deny he does his homework. You know, when he's watching these things and he sees things on the field that the average fan might miss because you're not really looking for that kind of stuff. Is he over the top sometimes? Yeah, you know.
Yo, guys, my family keeps saying there's some crazy guy at my front door. I got to take care of this real fast.
All right, go do your thing.
All right.
What?
Go do your thing.
And you say I have something going on in my house every day. Really? Really?
You never know, man.
Calm.
Yeah,
can you imagine if some crazy guy standing at the front door and all of a sudden this dude 6'5", 330 opens the door? What do you want?
I think that guy's running very quickly back to his car. Would be my guess.
I'm in the wrong neighborhood. I'm sorry. I thought this was Buford's house. I'm sorry. My bad. Choo, I'm gone. I'm out.
Yeah. Hey, Julian Love followed up Gunner with a tweet on what he said earlier about, hey, you know, anybody, essentially you guys could coach this team, and he's along for the ride, referring to Nick Sirianni. So he tweeted out, and you can follow him at Julian Love 27. He tweets out, Philly fans sure don't like this one, LOL, but I'm not wrong. This is a players league, and Philly has dogs on the roster top to bottom. It's no mystery why they're in this position.
See, I mean, it gave the team a compliment.
He is complimenting the players, but it's a backhanded smack at the coach. But it is player love. Yeah, it's player.
Maybe
love
there was some jaw jacking. I mean, think about this, Rob. They played each other 3 times this year.
Right.
Maybe there was some jaw jacking on the field before or after the game that Julian didn't like and just wanted to take another shot at Nick. I mean, there's so many untold elements to why people say certain things, and who knows? Maybe Nick said something about, hey, man, you know, are you good enough to play in this league? You don't know. We don't know.
That's true.
But,
no, you're right.
But
you're right. Absolutely.
The fact that he's not backing off that statement,
been an interesting week with all that kind of stuff. That's for sure.
Man.
Oh my God. All right. Let me throw some Super Bowl odds for next year. This is for 2023. Okay. Not this year.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Some DraftKings odds. So the odds on favorite right now are the Chiefs at plus 5.
Already?
Chiefs are right now. Yeah, because I know, you know, they're pretty young. You know, they're not losing a ton. The Bills are plus 650. You know, here's the thing with the Bills, and I love Sean McDermott. I do. But Bills are in like show me time now. They're starting to get into that reach that area, you know, where they need to start to get past that hump and get in there. So
2 years in a row now, they're supposed to be the number 1 team in everybody's minds in the AFC, and 2 years in a row they're sitting home short of their destination.
Yeah, so you get to the championship, you know, final in their own conference.
You're right. That's right.
The Niners plus 700. Now that you can look at that a couple different ways. Derek, is that they feel like they're going to land a big an Aaron Rodgers, a big name quarterback, maybe, or is it just they're so good everywhere else if they're healthy? Because you know you're going in with like a Purdy, Trey Lance question mark as far as I'm concerned, and both guys coming off injuries.
and you lost your defensive coordinator, and you're losing your starting quarterback. I think those odds are based on what they did this season. It's got to be.
Yeah,
it's got to be. But and those odds are going to change after the Super Bowl's over, and once free agency weeds itself out, those odds on all these teams are going to change, and positionings are going to change drastically because you don't know who's going to be where. I can't believe that's based on the fact that the odds makers feel that two young quarterbacks who are still rehabbing, and Lance and Purdy, are the glue that's going to hold that team together. You got to find a defensive coordinator. You got to find a veteran presence, that's comparable to run Kyle Shanahan's system if one of these young guys or both don't live up to your future expectations. There's a lot of gray areas when it comes to this.
I agree with you. So they're number 3. The Eagles are number 4. So the Eagles are at plus 800. Now, I guess some of that is they do have a ton of free agents. And, depending on how many guys leave, what that looks like, I guess they could still lose Steichen, which could play into it a little bit. I don't know if they dig that deep. Maybe they do. I'm not sure. But they have them 4th right now. And then the Bengals are 5th at plus 900. Cowboys are 6th at plus 1,400.
I don't get that. That I don't get.
Dallas hype, I guess.
Dude, seriously. They got like 15, 20 guys who are up for free agency. Your offensive coordinator is gone. Your defensive coordinator is staying. Mike McCarthy is now your play caller. You don't know if they're going to be able to. What are they? That two-headed monster at running back, I don't think it's going to stand the way it is. You're not paying both Tony Pollard, who's a free agent, and Dak, who has a monster contract. One of them has to make way for another young running back. So how will that affect them as well? You got a lot of defensive players you got to think about. And once again, Dallas fell way short of a lot of people's anticipations. So there's no way Dallas checks in at number 6 right now. No way.
Yeah, I think we have Barrett back up. Barrett, go ahead, my man. Let's pop him in. There we go.
Thank you, sir.
All right, everything all right? What happened there?
Dude, I'm just I'm way too nice, man. That's what it is. But it's a gentleman that he tries to cut yards around the neighborhood, and he has some mental health issues.
Gotcha.
But I talk to him all the time. I just talk to him, and today he said he's at the door. He was waiting on me. I was like, so my kids are down there screening. I'm trying to, my dad's on film. He's at work right now doing this on TV. Yeah. Long story long, he was waiting for me. He said, well, Dad, you got to come down and tell him. I said, I can't right now. I'm doing this. Long story long, he turns around. He says, well, he used to be Deuce Staley's bodyguard. And he just left the game that Deuce had about 3 weeks ago. And he's trying to go to the Super Bowl. And right now, Deuce is not, he's his bodyguard, but he's not answering his calls back because he's trying to get to the Super Bowl. He wants him to answer his calls. And he said he knows how to get to Arizona. He's going to Arizona. He knows how to get there. But he's Deuce's bodyguards. I'm like, so where do I fit in with this? Can I talk to you? I said, I can't talk right now. I'm busy. I'm trying to do this. He's like, well, just to let you know, man, I know I'm not supposed to just drop out. I'll call him. He just, long story long, he said, well, all I need is gas money.
No. I got you.
All you need is gas. What?
Well, he's also coming around in February about cutting lawns. It's probably not great timing. But hey, I hear you.
Barrett,
you are
gas
nice.
Money.
You are nice.
Give him the money, Barrett.
I like that. That's a nice thing. Yeah.
You live that lavish life
to go all the way to Arizona.
Oh, yeah.
He knows where Arizona is.
About $500. Give him the money, Barrett. You live that lavish life, man.
Bro,
come on, man.
Oh man, I don't know, man.
All right, well, let's do this. Let's take a timeout.
Call
and when we
yourself
come
a good
back,
Christian man. I'm hurt.
That's
I'm deeply
right.
hurt.
We will field questions. Yeah, we will field questions. He's bad. From the chat room. Chat room, fire away. Throw a question mark in front of your question, and we will take your comments and your questions. when we come back. We got birthdays, movies, and all that good stuff.
Before we leave?
Yeah.
Before we leave, I'm sorry. I know you're trying to get us where we need to go, Rob, but
no, we're good. We're good.
He's Deuce's. I should say this, but all right, I'm gonna say it anyway. He's Deuce's bodyguard. The guy's like 60-something years old, and he's like 60 years old, and he only has one foot.
Oh,
he has a
prosthetic foot.
Prosthetic foot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Prosthetic all the way down, from his calf down.
Oh,
he's
man.
Deuce's bodyguard and 60 years old.
Does Deuce look like he needs a bodyguard?
Number one.
No. I wouldn't mess with Deuce. Yeah.
And then number two, how is it that he's Deuce's bodyguard? He's 60-something years old.
He must be skilled with his hands. You know what I mean?
I'm not messing with him.
Yeah, all right.
I'm gonna give you a cash app, though, Derek.
What?
I'm gonna give you his cash app.
No, man, give him the money, Barrett. He came to your house, man.
I'm gonna give you a cash app.
It's a sign, Barrett, that you need to do something from the heart and not the pocket.
Rob, can we go to break now, please?
Yeah, let's go to break now.
Come on,
before
Barrett.
Before this gets any deeper.
All
right.
That's self.
We'll hit it.
Self.
We'll come back. Chat section questions, birthdays, movies on this date. I have a good on this date for you guys. More Eagles. Don't go anywhere. We're Sports Take, JAKIB Sports YouTube Network. Back.
Go for the beers. Go for the cheers. Go for the hit and the hits. Go for the scene. Go for the screens. Go for the gallery. Go for the win. Go to Ocean.
Jeff D'Ambrosio doesn't need a special event to appreciate his customers. Jeff shows his appreciation to them every day of the year. Jeff makes sure to stock more new inventory than anyone and guarantees prices and payments that nobody can beat. There are so many reasons that thousands of customers know Jeff is the easy, friendly place to do business. More for their trades. No judgment zone for credit issues. The best, most reliable service department in the country. That's why I like Jeff, and I know you will too. Jeff will satisfy you every day. Jeff D'Ambrosio, Destination Downingtown, Owner Appreciation Event.
Weather forecasting is a team game.
We rely on each other every day, updating the models and passing along new critical information.
We have a team of 5 experienced meteorologists and a specialized weather producer, Paul. Say hi, Paul.
Sometimes what I see in the model, Cecily could see something different.
That's when we come together as a team to make our most accurate prediction.
And all of this backed by more than 100 AccuWeather scientists. It's a team game.
And we have the best team in town.
The greatest fans on earth. It's a bold statement, but would you expect anything less from Philadelphia? 58 years of heartache creates a toughness, a grit, a resolve not found in most. Sure, our prayers were answered, but now that we've had a taste, we're looking for more. Pondley Hockey, official partner of the Philadelphia Eagles.
Post-game show with Seth Joyner.
I knew that they had a running game.
Derek Gunn.
He has put in the effort.
Devin Caney.
Had we not won the Super Bowl, what would we be saying?
And Mike Missinelli.
Well, you know who Philly is.
Post-game, now streaming on the 6ABC family of apps.
What's up, everybody? Thanks for hanging out with us. We are Sports Take, JAKIB Sports YouTube Network. Derek, Barrett, Rob. All right, so Shane Steichen will have his second interview with the Colts on Saturday, guys. So apparently They're down to 3. I don't know who it is exactly. There's reports that Martindale's one of them. Steichen's getting his second interview, and then there's somebody else involved. So it's Indy and Arizona, right? That's it?
That's all we know right now.
Yep.
As far as openings goes, yeah.
Yep.
So gonna be interesting what ends up happening there. So you want to throw questions our way? Let's do it. Let his do it. Let's open that thing up. That's for sure. All right. So on this date, I got it on this date for you guys that you'll enjoy. 1989, Tecmo Bowl debuted for Nintendo.
Wow.
Tecmo. 34 years ago, Tecmo made its debut, man. One of the
I never got into that game. I
liked it. I liked it. Yeah.
I loved it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You remember our colleague, Marshall Harris, used to have the game at his desk. He would keep it at his desk and brag about he was a Tecmo Bowl champion and would challenge people at his desk to play every now and then.
Is that right?
Yeah.
I don't even remember that. Okay.
Yeah. He would sit back in the corner, and people would go back occasionally and play against him, and he would brag about being the champ, the premier player at Tecmo Bowl. I'm like, okay, whatever, dude.
I didn't know that.
That thing was too grainy for me. You look at the figures, just like, huh?
Well, yeah, you're. I mean, it's very, especially with what we have now. It's very, I guess, crude in the way that it was put together. But for the time, man, it was cutting edge.
You couldn't stop. What's his name? Bo Nose.
Yes, Bo Jackson.
You couldn't stop Bo Jackson.
Yep.
You couldn't stop. Who else was it? Sweetness. You couldn't stop him either.
Yeah. Yes, but there was what was there, like 4 plays altogether?
Yep.
You can only use 4 plays, something like that. Pretty crazy, man. Yeah, so those were the days. That's for sure. All right, let's do some birthdays here, and then we'll get to some of your questions. Fire away. Anything you want to ask Eagles, to us, whatever the case may be. We will get to those.
Don't ask me any personal questions. I'm off limits.
Gunner, all personal questions. Nothing but I'm kidding.
Off limits.
So George Washington, born on this day in 1732, our first president of the United States.
Hey, I missed that one.
Yeah, he was 1732. Good old George. Christy Brinkley, one of the first supermodels, born on this day 69 years ago today. She's 69 years young.
Still looks good.
Still looks great.
Strong,
yeah.
Strong, Rob. Strong.
Very strong. Still. Amen. Yes. Ray Didinger turned down a date with her, right?
Right. Yeah. That was crazy.
Incredible. Well, lunch. Let's not, whatever. Yeah. Lunch. Shakira, hips still not lying. She's 46 years old. Is Shakira. Yep. Very strong. That's a very strong. Okay. Yes.
She said hips still not lying. Though.
No, they're not lying. Farrah Fawcett, born on this day, 1947, 70 strong, for sure.
Some beautiful people born on this day. Huh?
Yeah, right. I know, man. We were a little run here.
She died young at 62 years old. Wow.
She did. That's a shame. She had cancer. Yeah, that's a shame.
Yeah.
She passed away at a very young age. 37 years old. Is it Gemma Arterton? She's an actress. I'm not that familiar with her, but she's done a lot of stuff.
Gemma, Clash of Titans, Quantum of Solace, Hansel and Gretel, The Witch Hunters. Yeah.
She's done a lot of stuff. Yeah, she's 37 today. Graham Nash from Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young, the singer, is 81 today. The great George Halas was born on this day in 1895, the founder of the Chicago Bears.
Wow.
He lived to be like 90-something. He had a really long life.
He passed in 1983 at the age of 88.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Still, that's a long life, man.
It's a long life. That's for sure. James Franklin, Penn State head coach, is 51 today. Yep. Michael T. Weiss, the actor, is 61 today. James Joyce, the poet, was born on this day, 1882. Tom Smothers, the comedian actor, 86 years old. John Saunders, who was one of the greats at ESPN in the studio and play-by-play. Sadly, we lost him really young. Was born on this day in 1955, John Saunders. Donald Driver, Derek Gunn squad.
Yeah, baby. Yeah.
I play with Donald. That's my dude.
Okay. 48 for Donald today, celebrating. Sean Elliott. Sean Elliott is the speed limit. He is 55 today. Former Spur and a couple other teams in the NBA. Had a heck of a career. I think he still does Spurs TV or radio to this day. Harrison Smith, longtime safety for the Vikings, is 34 today.
Yep. My dude.
Dexter Manley, longtime NFL player. Sack Meister had some off the field issues as well, but he is 64 today. Is Dexter?
Wow.
Yeah, 64, man, crazy.
Manley, I said he used to line up head to head and outrun DBs. He ran like a 4.40.
Where'd he go? Oklahoma State, something like that. I forget where he went, but he was a great athlete. Yeah, he was.
Great athlete. Yeah.
On those a lot of those Redskins teams back in the day, which they were called the Redskins back then. What was the other one I had? That's it. That's all I have for birthdays. You guys have any other ones?
Yeah.
Wow.
Good.
Detroit coach Wayne Fonts.
Oh.
83.
Remember Wayne, yeah.
Mike Tice.
Mike Tice, the coach. Yeah.
Yep.
Minnesota. I think he was a head coach too, right?
Yes, he was.
Yeah, he was.
Yep. 64. Carl Wright from Big Mama House. The dirty old man from Big Mama House.
Yeah.
He's also in Barbershop, McCracken.
Yeah. Yep.
He's I don't know how old he is.
He's old.
Yeah, he's old. Brent Spiner.
Yep.
Data from Star Trek.
Okay.
Brent
Played
Spiner
a lot of Star Trek movies, yeah.
Yep. He was Data. He's 74.
All right.
Dog the Bounty Hunter.
Oh.
Jane Chapman. Dog is 70 years old. Dog still got the flowing blonde hair and still trying to go out there and capture criminals.
Is he still around? Oh my God.
70 years old.
All right.
And my last one is no, you know what? I got Blake Clark too. He's on Mr. Deeds and The Water Boy.
Okay.
He's 76.
All right.
And then Cortland Finnegan.
Bronco. Or Tennessee Titan. Yeah.
Tennessee Titan got beat up by Johnson.
Oh, that's right.
Why you say that, man?
That's why I had to mention him, man. He got beat up on that. I saw him get beat up on national TV.
That's messed up, man. You ain't right.
Wow.
Johnson was wailing him on it. Wow.
Yeah, that was ugly. That one was ugly, man. Yeah. How about you, Gunner? You got any?
Yeah, we got Talanoa Hufanga, 23 years old today.
Yep.
Rob, you being a historian like I am when it comes to baseball, Red Shandens.
Cardinal.
Yep. Do you know that he was in a major league uniform as a player, coach, or manager for 74 consecutive years?
I didn't know that.
74 consecutive.
That's insane. That's insane.
He was 95 when he died in 2018. Jeff Okuda from the Lions.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The actor Bo Hopkins was 84 when he passed away last year. Emily Rose, 42.
Mm-hmm.
Naomi Grossman, 47. Elaine Stritch, who played in 30 Rock, was 89 when she passed in 2014.
Mm-hmm.
Carol Ann Susie, she was the voice of Mrs. Wolowitz in The Big Bang Theory. She passed away, from cancer. But you remember the voice, the screechy voice? You ever watched The Big Bang Theory? And it was Howard's mom. You never saw her, but you always heard the voice.
Yeah.
That was her.
Okay.
Yeah, she was only 62 when she passed away. Rashad Penny of Seattle's 27, the Seahawks. Malcolm Brown. Remember the name Malcolm Brown, the NFL? 29 years old today. Yep.
Yeah, he wasn't around real long in the NFL, but yeah, okay.
Malcolm Brown picked off the pass at the goal line.
Yeah, that's right.
Remember that was Super Bowl, yeah. So,
all right, good ones there. Movies. We have Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? 2001.
Greatest movie ever.
I love that movie. It's really well done, man.
I'm in a tight spot.
Yeah, there are a lot of those kind of like one-liners, and it's well acted too, man. It's well,
bro. That's what the
mud scene. There's a lot of stuff.
And they said, I thought you was a toad. I love that movie, man.
It is good.
It's that's one of those, what do you call it, click and stick?
Click and stick, yeah. You're flipping around, you're staying with that
man.
one. A Clockwork Orange, which is a weird movie. If you ever, a lot going on there. It's 1972. Yeah.
Still a classic, though.
It's still held up.
Yeah.
It's still held up. Black Sheep with Farley and Spade, which is a pretty funny movie.
That was pretty funny, yeah.
The Juror, which is a good movie.
Alec Baldwin and Demi Moore. Yeah.
Alec Baldwin and Demi Moore, yeah. Letters from Iwo Jima from 2007. And that's all I have as far as the movies go.
That's
How about
it.
you guys? Okay.
Yep. That's it.
Okay. All right.
That's all I got, man.
Yeah. So obviously a lot of what we've been doing here has been focused around the Eagles and what this game is going to look like and what the confidence level is. The point spread has moved about a point. The Eagles are still favorites, but it was 2.5. Now it's 1.5. So the public betting line at least has been a little bit more in on Kansas City than they have been on the Eagles. And and look, I get it. You're talking about a team with experience. You talk about a team with a guy who's already got an MVP in his back pocket at quarterback. That's been in either the AFC Championship game. It feels like 5 straight years, and they've been
5 straight years.
Yeah, the Super Bowl. What is it? 3 times over the last. Is it 4 years or 5 years? Whatever.
4 years.
So there's a lot more experience there. And while the Eagles were there just 5 years ago, it's a pretty different team. I mean, it's a different head coach. It's a different starting quarterback. Most of the principles, not all, but a lot of the principles are different now. So I get where the public feels that way. I guess I keep getting back to what we talked about earlier. The line, defensive line, offensive line, advantage Eagles. And that to me means a lot when it comes to these games. And the Eagles have really systematically taken teams apart for the most part this season. They've just rolled through teams. And I don't think that's a coincidence. I think that's who they are. I think they're that good. It's going to be harder against this team, more of a challenge and all that. But that doesn't change, just how good this team is.
No. And all 22 starters.
Everybody
that's
healthy.
One.
Yeah, we said this earlier. Mecole Hardman, Andy himself said likely not to play.
This is
strange.
To me, it's strange that when they say that they still haven't put an entire game together yet, they really haven't. They haven't played great with all 3 units yet. In fact, they haven't played great with both offense and defense clicking at the same time just yet for an entirety of the game. Why not it be in the best stage, the biggest stage ever, that they play an entire game and everything's clicking in the Super Bowl?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this will be perfect for them. They leave so much meat on the bone out there that, take advantage of every facet of this game. Just show everybody, stop doubting us and put some respect on us.
Yeah, I'm going to be really curious. The offense is obviously going to have to do more in this game, but I'm going to be really curious because I don't think this is a great Kansas City defense by any stretch.
No, not even close.
To watch them, operate in a situation where they're not up big and just kind of milking the clock and playing it a little bit conservative, maybe to an extent where they just really let loose, and you're going to see, I think this week off too is really going to help AJ Brown because I don't think that hip's been 100%. You're going to get Jalen a little bit more time, Lane a little bit more time. Some of their guys who were banged up a little bit more time. The Eagles, they could really. That's the fascinating part for me is how dynamic is this offense, and we know Spagnuolo, as we talked about earlier, is not afraid to bring the heat. Right. So if you pick it up, what's that going to look like if you get one-on-ones?
Bro,
back out of here real quick.
And we know Jalen can read the blitz. We know he knows how to do that.
Yeah.
We understand that he's well versed at that.
Yeah, he's gotten way better at it for sure.
And he gets out there one-on-one and they bring the house. They go zero blitz. Zero blitz. If you're not covering somebody, you're coming to the quarterback.
Right.
And he understands it. And he looks back and, they have an instant check for it, like a slant or something like that, a slant and go, a sluggo route.
Yeah.
That could be big for us, man, because if he gets that touchback that he had, like the ball he overthrew to A.J. Brown, he usually puts a little more arch on that ball, and it drops down to his hands. Because of that shoulder, I think he wasn't able to do that. It was more of a straight line pass. But, I mean, he starts getting that arch back into it, and it'll be over, man. It'll be over before it even starts. Yeah. All he has to do is just hit on a couple of those, get him out of that defense, and just pound the rock after that.
Yeah, and look, man, Kansas City in the air in terms of yards per the Eagles were the best team in football in the regular season. Kansas City was less than the middle of the pack. They were very mediocre this season. That's an area you can attack them. That's for sure. That you should be able to do some damage, especially considering that what you were laying out earlier, the way that they go about it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's where you can get them against the run. They're pretty good. They're pretty stout against the run, but still, we heard that last week with San Francisco. We heard it the week, whatever. We've heard this before. The Eagles should be able to, if they care to do it, run on anybody.
Yep.
So there isn't, you don't become one dimensional. You certainly shouldn't become one dimensional against this team. But really, what's it going to look like when Hurts gets out in this open land? And what kind of damage is he able to do?
This will be crazy, man.
Yeah.
Because just like we said, they go zero coverage, and if he's able to evade the blitz and get up in one of those seams and run it, everybody's back is turned to him because they're covering.
Mm-hmm.
Man, they probably won't see him till at least 20 yards down the field.
That's
instantly opening up that offense with the threat of him being as good as he is with his legs.
Well, I think too, like they also know, like there were a couple plays that one deep shot to AJ, which they overthrew. There were some plays they left on the field, the last couple of games. I think that's where you just got to be on your P's and Q's because you can't afford to do that against this team. You can do that against those other teams.
The thing is, as good as this Eagles defense is, I think this might be the one offense, that's going to give them a workout. This offense, and because of the creativity of the offense, because of the unpredictability of the offense, and the Eagles should have a good measure of success against them. But I think this Kansas City team, because of their wealth of playoff experience, big moments, drawn up plays in the huddle, in the dirt, they're going to do a lot of things that the Eagles haven't seen yet. And let's see how the Eagles adjust to it. They're going to catch the Eagles at some point with some of these gadget plays that they run. And hopefully it's in the middle of the field or on their own side of the field and not in the red zone, So this is going to make this Eagles defense think a lot about what's to come and adjustments they're going to have to make on the fly in terms of matchups.
Yeah. I mean, this is let's face it, this is the best offense they faced. Right?
Absolutely.
Period. Without question.
It's the number one offense in the league, right?
Yeah.
It's the highest scoring offense in the league, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's the number one passing offense in the league. Quarterback led the lead in passing, led the league in touchdowns.
Barrett, how are you? I'm sorry, Derek. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, how do you contain Kelsey? What do you do?
They're going to have to bracket him somehow, find a way to high-low him. Keep two defenders around him. He's that good that you just got to allocate resources. I don't know. Nobody else scares me out there. Kelsey's somebody that I would have to know where he is at all time. I mean, I could stop the rookie running back. You know what I'm saying? You just tackle the run on your way to the quarterback on the pass. But we're gonna have to get some heat on on more than just we're gonna have to get some heat more than just on his clock, his clock in his head. You know what I'm saying? We got to get heat on that. Not necessarily physically on his body, but more so on his thought process. Him not being able to break stuff down as fast. We're gonna have to generate that type of pressure on him. You know what I mean? Patrick Mahomes is great, but if you can somehow get the clock in his head sped up and start making him see things that aren't necessarily there, that's when this game will get easy for that defense. But as long as he's able to sit back and process things, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, you're right. I think we'll know pretty early how healthy that ankle is too, because
right.
If you're getting some heat on him, what he's going to be able to do, and in terms of buying time to make plays. And he did it a couple times. I mean, the one touchdown throw, the later touchdown throw that he ends up making, he did step up in the pocket and still delivered a great pass. And then he scrambled for that one first down. So when he had to utilize it, he did. You know, he did. He was able to do it for sure.
First and foremost, get to Patrick, because he likes to stand back there and pat the ball. You notice he passed the ball. And when he's patting the ball, he's waiting for somebody to wiggle free. And we know who he's waiting to wiggle free. Mm-hmm. That dude, Kelsey, will find a way. You can bracket him. Many teams try to bracket him. But the longer you let Patrick stand back there, the longer that dude's going to find a way to wiggle free. And that's not good. That's not a good day at the office. You let that dude get free. You're right. Make Patrick speed up that clock, man. Make him want to throw the ball before he wants to throw it.
Yep.
Because that's where he gets in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when he'll give it up. And that's why I said not necessarily rushing Patrick and physically hitting him. Is more so speeding up that clock inside of his head. Mm-hmm. If you can speed that clock up inside his head, that's when he starts making mistakes.
Yeah. Yeah. And he will make mistakes, like we talked about earlier. 12 interceptions on the regular season. So he will make mistakes. That's for sure. All right. So tomorrow we're going to have Sheil Kapadia will be joining us, and Sheil had to kind of rearrange some things. We were supposed to have him on today, but we're looking forward to having Sheil on with us tomorrow. He does an excellent job. If you ever get a chance to check it out, you can follow him on Twitter at Sheil Kapadia. He's a podcaster and writer for The Ringer. So we'll get all his in-depth takes here, because he's based out of Philadelphia, but he's a national reporter here. So we'll get his notion of what happens in this game with the Eagles and the Chiefs as we get closer here. Eagles practicing tomorrow. Today was a walkthrough, but they're practicing tomorrow. We'll pass along any kind of information we get in terms of injuries and what's going on and whatnot. We'll continue with all our NFL talk. Sixers back at it tomorrow as well. And as we mentioned, Phillies will be then 13 days away from pitchers and catchers reporting. So a lot of fun. Today's show. I want to thank everybody in the chat section. You guys are the best. I want to thank our producer, Xander Krause, and all of you streaming and all of you listening. Of course, don't go anywhere. You got the National Football Show with Dan Cilio coming up. He will continue the fun, and we'll be back at it tomorrow at the same time. For Derek, for Barrett, I'm Rob. Have a great Thursday. We'll see you mañana.
Go for the beers. Go for the cheers. Go for the hit and the hits. Go for the scene. Go for the screens. Go for the gallery. Go for the win. Go to Ocean.
Post-game show with Seth Joyner.
I knew that they had a running game.
Derek Gunn.
He has put in the effort.
Devin Caney.
Had we not won the Super Bowl, what would we be saying?
And Mike Missinelli.
Well, you know who Philly is.
Post-game, now streaming on the 6ABC family of apps.